10:30 p.m. You know where your kids are. Well, hopefully you're not listening to this show off the rails. Alex, co-host. You know what I'm saying? The Speakeasy on your YouTube channels. You know why? Because we don't care if you're here anyway. Show ain't about you. It can be if you call in, though, because the number is 1-800-525-4032. If you got something interesting to say, we've gotten very interesting calls in the past, but I don't think I can count them all in one hand. Or I think I could count them all in one hand. No, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. We could do two hands. So, if you want to call the program, by all means, go ahead. Danielle is not feeling... it's not that she's sick or anything. She just doesn't... she's tired. A lot going on. Decided to sleep instead of do the show tonight. In with us in the studio is Veronica. Veronica the mysterious. The Veronica that we're not going to tell you anything more about other than things that she says. How are you doing, Veronica?
Excellent.
That was nice. Also in studio with us is, if you see him today, your skill in reading did increase by 1 point, and congratulations for that increase. Greg Bowen, how are you doing, sir?
Spectacular.
I love that shirt, by the way. Dude, what game is that? I'm trying to think on why... Like, there's a reason... Like, there's a game where that was what would happen. Like, your skill in this would increase by 1 point.
Elder Scrolls.
Maybe something else, too.
Yeah, I'm sure there were more role-playing games. That's the first one that comes to mind.
I got you. I hear you.
Yeah.
Greg Bowen, how are you doing, sir?
Spectacular. Again.
That's good. That's good. Have you ever been going to an event, like you're in a crowded room full of people, and you severely injure yourself? Like not, hold on, not severely like where there's any blood or anything, but it's just the kind of pain that you really should be kind of screaming and then maybe down in like the fetal position for a couple seconds. And you can't?
Don't think I've ever been in that situation. Not that I can recall.
Well, mine wasn't that bad. That was much of an exaggeration as to what it really was, but it was on that way.
Yeah.
Like we go to this event on Saturday up in Lake City. It's a tea party event, or they get together and talk about stuff. And I have a table there for Liberty First. Table there, talk about lobby and that kind of stuff. Did pretty good. But when we get up there, they have these old chairs. Now, the old chairs I'm talking about, they're like the 60s chairs where it's the cushion on the inside, but it has a metal border around it, like a frame, very, very thick frame.
Absolutely.
All the exoskeleton, as it were, is right on the outside for you to smash your ankle into. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to this thing, and I'm going to sit down. Now, the room is just full of people. The people are already talking, and I'm just, I'm coming to sit down. And when I do, I perfectly hit my ankle, like underneath, like where the ball is.
Oh, yes.
Perfectly on the metal on the chair as I was trying to go over something else.
Oh. I know that injury. I am familiar with that one. Didn't do it in a crowded room full of people with their attention on me, but...
Well, no, and they weren't looking at me either. I was on the side, so I was one of the vendors, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm not the speaker, you know what I mean? I'm just I'm just vendor guy.
Okay.
So, but it's in the front though. Like not the front as you're looking at it, the front off to the side. So like all the people are looking this way and you're like right here though. So they just turn and you're right there. You know what I mean? It's not, and it's a little bit further away than that, but not that bad though. I mean, you're in the same room. Mm-hmm. And I just get down. I'm like, ooh, boy, that hurt real bad, real. And Danielle's sitting next to me. I'm like, that hurt real bad. She's like, oh, what happened? I'm like, oh my gosh, it hurt till the next day. Like it didn't hurt like that till the next day, but for 5 minutes, I'm just like, oh my god, this sucks. And you don't even want to move either because you don't want to put any pressure on it at that point. You know what I'm saying? Right. Not that would even add to the pain because it's a whole different kind of pain.
Right.
But man, is it just? I was like, honestly, I could have been in the fetal position very easily. Just saying, that happened on Saturday. Was able to maintain though.
What's that?
Nobody was the wiser. Nobody would even have known had I not said it tonight.
Yeah.
Well, now nobody still really knows, but there's 5 of us that know now. There you go. Yeah. Spread the tail. Spread the tail of the messed up ankle. It hurt like a son of a bitch, though, boy. I don't mind telling you. Oh, man. I'm just
It still hurt?
oh.
How's your ankle
I
now?
can feel it. You know what I mean? It doesn't really hurt at all. Or maybe I welcome the pain now at this point. But you know how you have that right at the end? You kind of welcome it that you can feel it again. Like you can move it around. And
right.
It's like you're beating the pain. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I'm past that stage even, but I had that stage that might have been the other day. So it was good though.
Nice,
yeah, worked out well. Like I said, almost made Atlanta. If people weren't in that room, I'm on the ground. Oh my god!
I totally wish you could bring up Peter Griffin laying on the sidewalk doing the. Where you can't speak. It hurts so bad that you can't even
explain
make a
what you're
sound.
doing. Yeah,
and you're just.
Yes. Oh boy, that really sucked. It's like you have to use the. It's like you have to use the air in your lungs sparingly. You're going to go. This sucks. Oh, bird, everything bird.
You can only speak while inhaling because if you do it while exhaling, it's going to be a scream.
Help me out here, people. By the way, I love food, by the way, and I hate to start with a food one, but this one just makes sense, by the way. Hold on. Did you know that KFC
Yes.
has unveiled, just in time for your prom, edible chicken corsage. The stuff you go to the prom with with the flowers.
Did you go to prom?
Oh, you are.
Oh yeah, I went to mine and Kelly's.
Okay. Did you get her a corsage?
I'm sure I did. But you know what? It didn't have any chicken on it.
Would you have gotten her a fried chicken corsage?
No.
Would you have gotten her a fried chicken corsage and ate the chicken before you gave it to her, and then gave her the corsage?
Look, here's the thing though, man. Like other than the big piece of chicken right there, it's just a bunch of crappy flowers. I mean, those aren't even good flowers right there. So if that's what they're bringing to the table, then it doesn't make any sense. Especially for $20, because you can get a wing for $3.99. Man, you can get a whole meal for that. I gotta pay $20 for most of the stuff on there you can't even eat.
Dude, this is like a diamond ring for chubby chasers. I mean, this is a good thing right here. It speaks volumes about our country. That's America.
Oh my God, I hadn't seen that.
I don't understand it, man. I gotta tell you,
the corsage costs $20 and comes with a $5 coupon for a drumstick in any flavor, including extra crispy, grilled, or original recipe.
But there's something wrong with that. This
I'd
is
go
like one of the
extra
signs of the
crispy.
apocalypse, though, isn't it? Don't get me wrong, man. I'm no one to talk about
Did you
food,
not
man.
see the blood moon?
Wow. That's explainable by science.
But
What's red?
This is
so's that.
Well, here's the thing. I understand what you're saying there, though. You actually do make a valid point right there, though. But I just sucks that it's acknowledged that's how far we've gone, though. Like, it's almost like, it's like Bright House. You know why I hate Bright House, by the way? Like, do you know the number one reason I hate Bright House? It doesn't even have anything to do with Bright House. It's that they're the ones that are making it known that we're that fucking stupid. Your recent ad campaign is only proof that we're that dumb. Man, as total as a society, hello, friend? What? Yeah. Welcome to Costco. I love you. What's the difference?
Exactly.
One step closer.
Yeah.
And it works. Yeah. The thing is, the advertising itself works. Now, part of it is their monopoly that's going on right now, so I can't really speak to, that's not the only reason they're doing good. It's acknowledgement that that's all they have to do, though. Like, they think now that's all they got to do, and they got you. Like, damn. And they might even be right.
For some people, they might be.
God, I hope not. But you never know. Hey, look, you never know. Never know. One of the cool thing is, by the way.
I don't know, but I want some fried chicken.
You want some fried chicken now? I'm sorry. I was going to try to change subjects. So.
No, it's okay.
Have you ever used this Nextdoor thing?
Nextdoor?
I don't think I've ever even heard of it.
All right. There's a website. It's called Nextdoor.com.
Oh, Oh yeah.
And what it is
that's right.
it's like a Facebook for your neighborhood. I know that it sounds weird to say it this way. It is completely separate from Facebook or any other type of social media. And the way that it's built is even different than that. Is that it only actually brings people in that live in your neighborhood. Now, what it does, it gives you the ability to communicate with your neighbors, but the way that
I did sign up for
I
this.
don't-
Hold on.
the other thing it gives you the ability to do is that you can send out 100 postcards a month inviting people to it,
Well,
like to the homes of your neighbors. Like you get to pick 100 of them and mail them out to invite them there. You're asking why?
why?
Well, here's the
Why?
thing. I actually think that the ability to be able to communicate with your neighbors via social media in a place that is almost by rule set up to be like an information area, but like a very unbiased one, and not like all this junk and spam that you see on like Facebook. It's actually like garage sales. When's the city council meeting?
Yeah, and
when
those
there's a
can-
sale going on and stuff. And so, but there's interaction with your neighbors with that.
All of those things have been going on since the beginning of time without social media. So I don't feel the need to connect with my neighbors.
Yeah, why don't you just go knock on the
Well, you
door?
don't
Yeah.
have to. Well, you can do both. Though.
Exactly.
Well, here's the
Like,
thing, though.
if I-
But here's the thing, though. One thing that I did is that when I did those 100 postcards, I actually went out to those doors first,
So you did it?
and I knocked. Yeah, I already did it. And I went and knocked on their doors, and a lot of the people that I did talk to remembered my name because of the thing that I sent them.
There you go.
Okay.
So it's an icebreaker.
Well, yeah, the other thing is that I post all the city council meetings on this platform, like the local ones. I don't say good, bad, indifferent, nothing. I just say, hey, here's the council meeting at this time. I basically cut and paste what you get from City of Newport Richey and put it in there. Well, here's the other thing, by the way. So let's say I was to run for city council or something. The last guy won with 400 votes. These guys win with 400 or 500 votes at a clip. That's all they win with.
You got 100 right there.
That's 100. You know, I mean,
You're,
in reality.
you're a quarter of the way there.
With a stupid little website called Nextdoor. Here's the thing, and you see nothing. Like, it's really just whatever you put in it and your neighbors put it in. It's got a defined little area, the whole nine.
Nice.
It's pretty funny, actually. I got to tell you, I got to give these guys credit. I actually watched something on them too. They did a little 60 minutes piece or whatever, and I watched what their goal is.
Yeah. What's their goal?
Well, what they're trying to do is they're trying to, and again, I know what you're going to be saying here is you're going to go, well, putting everybody on the computer would actually keep them further away. I would disagree in the fact that they're already on the computer now, not talking to each other. If you really were to get them involved as a neighborhood online, it'll make that face-to-face a little bit easier, to be honest with you, because you got to be able to get people to unplug overall. And it ain't easy to do. And for any of us, it's not easy to do. I mean, I got to tell you, I'm just as fault as anybody. But this is a way for at least you can filter out all the... Like, Facebook is crap now. It really is. It's junk. It's crap.
It is.
It's not... Here's the thing, though, but you could use that kind of platform for something good if it was built the right way. Mm-hmm. And whatever the right way is for anybody is their own business, by the way. I'm not saying one way is better than the other, but I'm saying is if you want to get people to be able to focus on things going on locally, having a website in which the only people that are having a platform, which really the only people that you can see on it are your neighbors, and that's it, that's actually a pretty cool thing. Like, it's really nice that you can filter it down to that. Because everybody will be respectful. You know how in Facebook you get people that have, Facebook courage?
Mm-hmm.
You never will have that on this site.
Right.
Because
Because you
they're
could
your
go
neighbors.
burn their house down.
and all your neighbors witnessed the whole thing because they saw it all online.
Right.
So anything you're going to put up there is going to be very nice and like it'd be how you would talk to somebody in public. But maybe even nicer. Like, I'm very nice. I don't even say much in there. I just say the city council meeting's here, this meeting's here, this meeting's here. I have an idea for, I read, some people say they got problems, like, with homes and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, because there's homes around here that nobody lives in them. They're basically condemned. Some of them have been burnt up, and they're just here. The neighbors ain't happy about that. They want them gone. They're trying to blame somebody for it. They don't know who to blame for it. They think it's the government should do something about it. That's what they think now at this point. They're like, well, the government should do something about this. It's the first opportunity that we can actually possibly have of changing that scenario and making it a private market solution. Because in all actuality, you could fix this with the private market. The free market, somebody's just got to put it together. Right. Because you could make something with a sole purpose of buying these houses, tearing them down, and doing something with them. Like, you could totally do that. It wouldn't even take nearly as much money as you would think. Because if you make a nonprofit, then they can write that shit off on their taxes for the people that have these homes, and they're sitting on crap anyway. And they just we got to tear these things down. Like, that's what should have to happen here.
Right.
One's owned by the bank. You figure out what the good price is to buy it from, tear it down, put a park, put a little garden thing. Like, you really should have a garden and a park. Park benches, garden park. That's it.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not forcing it down anybody's throat. I'm not doing anything like that. I think that you don't have the government do it, but the community should do it. If the community thinks it's a problem, then the community needs to come up with a solution, right? That's what we're advocating for on a local level. Not that it shouldn't be done, that the government shouldn't be able to force people to do it, right?
Right.
Isn't that the solution then? What do you think?
I would agree with that. I think it's a great solution.
You like that?
Yeah.
But nobody really owns it, though. Everybody's stakeholder. The neighbors are stakeholders in it, basically. You know what I mean? Because you are
working out the legality of the ownership is the only hurdle I see to doing it. But once you do that, you got to get the people to come up with the money and buy the land, and there you go.
Well, somebody's got to start doing it. I mean, in all honesty, the one thing I don't have to do that with is more time to set up another organization specifically designed to do that. Somebody's got to do that stuff. But I'm going to keep putting the idea out there to the neighbors. Maybe somebody will want to do it. It's not a bad idea, actually. And a lot of rental property here, too, though. But actually, you know what? Oh, this is going to sound very communal. So let me apologize right off the bat. I think for neighborhoods, though, man, they should be banding together for this. Like, you go to these city council meetings, they're talking about how they have a rental rate of, like, 56% here where I live, and that's really high. And if you get to 70, it goes even worse than that and stuff like that. Well, here's the thing. If they want to actually lower that number and get it to a lower rental rate, like in the 40s or even the 30s or something, you could do a couple things to do that. You know what I mean? Like, you could get people into these, as a community, you could do that. But it'd have to be voluntary, but you could do that if you're serious about it. But, the problem is that most people aren't even serious about it like that. But you could start with these other properties, because you could find a way to make money doing it, though. Like, that thing could be self-sustaining in and of itself. The food alone, because you bring Eric from the co-op in and say, look, this is your land you have to do with, but you're going to have to sell the stuff that comes out of it. Eric will come and do that.
Yeah.
You could even set it up the right way where you could make that like greenhouses. Like, you could do rows of greenhouses and still only do half of a piece of property.
Right.
Because even those half of properties aren't that big. I mean, aren't that small. Take the home away from this lot. And all you were putting up was park benches, a little thing up top, and then things in the back with a fence around it. Because that's all you're really putting up.
Yeah, you just got to get the citizens of the community behind it.
Yeah.
You just got to motivate them. It's a great idea. I think it'd work.
A lot of them on the same little site said, yeah, I'm going to go to the next city council meeting, right? Like, we're going to go to the next city council meeting. I'm like, all right, cool. So we were planning on going anyway, but we went to the next city council meeting. It was just the other night. It was Tuesday night. And the next day, they were like, no, I'm sorry we couldn't make it. Some kind of people are we, huh? And I'm like, no, don't take it so bad, man. The fact that you're even talking about going was at least getting somewhere.
Right.
Like, I'm glad that you had the gusto, even though you realized it was 7 o'clock on a Tuesday and you all of a sudden had something else to do. You just didn't want to go. That's fine. I don't care, but I'm glad you're at least talking about it.
Right.
So that's another thing this thing will do, because everybody on your Facebook could go to your city council meeting. Or everybody on your next door could go to city council. If something was that important that you wanted to get to your neighbors, information out to your neighbors, that they're having a hearing on this issue, a lot of times people just don't know this stuff's going on locally, man.
Yeah. And if there's something affecting your neighborhood, it's a easy way to motivate everybody.
But as an individual, it limits your reach to just your neighborhood, though, which I think is a good thing, though.
Yeah. That's one of the things that Facebook started with, that it just kind of, when it gave up on making sure that it was somebody that you knew and you were who you were and all that.
You have to verify yourself on this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't just get to be whoever you want to be wherever you want to live. You have to verify it. Like, they got to send something to your address, and you got to put it in order to be an official member. You know what I mean? Like, you give them a code. You got to confirm who you are, which I don't mind them doing that, actually, for something that's a neighborhood thing. Because, I'm putting, like, garage sales up on there and stuff, I'm putting some, I wouldn't say private information, but information I'm not going out there telling everybody in the world I'm having a garage sale, Or having a cookout, you're invited. No, I'm not going to do that. It depends on what's going on,
Yeah.
It's for your neighborhoods, for the people where you live. I like that. I think libertarians should do it.
Define neighborhood.
250 homes, maybe. Like, you'd have to look at it, but basically it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably 5 streets. Another street that goes like this. A couple streets that go this way. It's a pretty good. It's from where you turned all the way up to the red light, or to the stop sign, or the stoplight.
Okay.
So where we went out up to the stoplight, back over this way, to just about past the end of the school, another block past the end of the school, and then another full block the other way, and then back the 5 or 6 streets. That's it, though, just that area.
Okay.
You can expand it and stuff, but I don't even have that many. We only have I think 15 of them signed up anyway.
Yeah.
And I've mailed out 300 postcards so far, because I've done it 3 months in a row. Every month they give you 100 postcards to do, so I just mail 100 to the houses I haven't mailed it to. Free name ID. Swear to God. Funniest thing in the world. Everybody in my neighborhood has seen my name. They're like, oh, Alex Snicker. So if I knock on their door, go, hey, I'm Alex Snicker. They go, oh, yeah, you're the guy who sent me the postcard.
Yeah.
And they actually recognize me from something that's not politics related.
Yeah. That's not any of the other media that you get your face out in.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy, though?
So, it works that well.
And those are the 100 people you go in. Hey, look, in the next month, to be honest with you, this is a good gauge even for a libertarian. I might even start proposing this. You know what? That would be the 100 you got to go see that month. Like, you can quote it yourself and be like, I'm going to go hit these houses right here. And then that's what you got to do that month. Just go see those houses.
That'd work.
Funny thing is, Nextdoor gives you a flyer that you can automatically print out and put your name on it, too. Here's the thing. What they're really trying to build, though, look, at the end of the day, what you are is, they're going to try to market this somehow. And they're going to try to use this information to do this. Here's the thing. I don't mind you doing, as long as I get to use it for my purposes, too. Like, if I get to do it to let people know what's going on in city council and all these other things, and get them tapped into the community enough to where they can actually give a shit enough to actually change something, which wouldn't require even that many of them giving a shit. To be honest with you, that many of them knowing about it will probably be enough, because nobody votes. I live in a city that has 8,000 people in it. The last election for mayor, 800 people voted. That's it. Nobody else voted. Nobody else knows. Nobody else fucking knows. There's enough people that live in my neighborhood that I could get to, that would be a significant chunk if I could get the information to them.
Yeah. That could help you win mayor.
Oh, I wouldn't want to be mayor, though, but I'm just saying.
Why not?
Well, one, they just had the election, so it would be for another 3 years, I think. But
well,
it's much more realistic to go for a city council seat the next time, because then you can win it with 500 votes.
There you go.
You know, Malter was the biggest, earned the most money in that, by the way.
Really?
Not earned the most. That's not the right word to say, but he got the most campaign contributions in that race. He beat the competition in the amount of money he got. Did you know that?
I did not.
Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
And he didn't get that much. To give you a for instance, I think that, let me just say that, you know what? Sometimes I think all of us think that we're too good for stuff that we're not too good for.
Right.
All of us at times think that, and you know what? I have a difference of opinion on that right now, a big one. After watching the stuff I've been watching, I would say I do have a difference of opinion right now with what I would prefer to see coming out of our candidates right now.
Okay. What do you mean?
You know what, man? We got to just go for city councils. We got to go for county commissions. We got to go for or even State House, we got to go for those seats specifically. Because honestly, in some of these places, oh, watch out, dude. Are you getting mad over there? What are you doing?
No.
That thing's kicking your ass.
It is.
Go on, beat it up. Let's do a play-by-play here. We got. So it's Greg against the 7-Eleven stick. It's holding in there. It's holding in there, Jim. It's holding in there. He just doesn't want to. Oh, got out. Greg got it done. 8 seconds.
Ooh, you beat
And he
a
ate the whole thing
junior.
at one time, by the
It wasn't
way.
even a full-size one.
He just
I
went. He
know.
went to town on
It's
it.
the generic, is
He
what
went
it
to
is.
town on it. Oh, what was I saying? Candidates.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I want you in the seats you can win. But I want you in seats that you can win easily. Here's the thing. We've really been overlooking these municipals. They are so low in turnout. They're low in money. They don't need to raise significant cash in these things because they don't really have any competition. Because everybody overlooks them. Always. Nobody goes. Nobody gives a... There's a couple hundred people that give a crap. But here's the thing. You can go convince a couple hundred people to go and vote at least.
Right.
Like, they just don't know.
They don't know, and sometimes they don't care. You make them care enough to go.
If you can get them to latch onto one thing, or if they know you, another one would be personal knowledge. If they personally, like if you give them information and then you tell them, hey, come on and vote for me, you know what? That'll give them a reason to, you know. At least I think, and maybe not though. But here's the thing: I can do enough mailers. I could mailer everybody in the city twice. Do 2 robocalls to everybody in the city. And because the number's so low, the number of people I got to hit so low, I can hit everybody. 8,000. It's 8,000
We can take
people.
over cities.
Here's the thing. We can actually start to govern.
Right.
That's what we can do. We can actually start to govern. I know we think we can do it. You know what, man? Let's just go down. You know, we don't have anybody up in those other offices right now. We don't have enough city council guys. Look, if we had a plethora of city council guys, then that's something. That's saying something right there.
Right.
Look, a lot of this shit is run through the cities anyway. Look, all the city council people elect the people to the MPOs, to the boards. So all the unelected boards that are going on in Pasco County, the city of New Parichi has a seat of people. The people that are on the city council are the ones that go on those boards. They get to pick them at least, and they pick themselves. They alternated. They fight over a little bit here and there. Watched it last night. Watched it happen last night. Was sitting here going, it was part of the agenda. A couple hundred people elected those people to do that. You're going to tell me we can't get a couple hundred people to vote for us for that? And there's only one good guy. I mean, there's probably 2 good guys on that thing. Maybe. I don't know. It's going to be tough to see here. But they already did some stuff last night that just showed me where they were at, though. And it's little stuff. It's piddly city council stuff here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter to anybody else. Like, you don't give a crap about the concession stand at the rec center, right? You know? You don't care about that.
No.
But if you're a person that lives here, you would care about whether you can go to the rec center and bring your own food or if they're going to bar food from there.
Right.
Because for a personal pleasure, where you have to go to the rec center if you choose to go to the rec center, they'll make it so you can't bring your own food in there. They were voting on this. Last year it was the case. I never go to the rec center. I don't give a crap. But but it's not the difference though. The difference is that if a citizen wants to bring their own food into the rec center, they paid for that rec center in taxes. You have to be a member to be in that rec center. It's a community rec center. Who the hell are you guys to say that Chick-fil-A is the only people that can serve shit in the rec center? Like, it's not even right. The one guy goes up there, well, you know, if I was a business owner, then I wouldn't let other people's food in there. Hey, look, man, you got this thing confused. The rec center ain't your personal business. It's the community freaking pool that you use tax money to pay for. Like, screw you. As a taxpayer, I should be able to do what I want. As long as I'm not infringing on the rights of another, mind you.
Yeah.
And I can honor that you have an open and a close time or whatever, but you can't tell me I can't bring food in here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As long as I'm not throwing it in the water, you know. If you have a food area, then I can bring my food in that food area.
And especially only because you have a contract with somebody who is selling food in there, so you don't want anybody to bring in food that's going to compete with the person you have a contract with.
Well, yeah, because they get and the thing about it is this: what they want is they want $6.50, and it doesn't even. Here's the thing, and it doesn't even make any money, mind you. Like, their contract with Chick-fil-A doesn't get them any money. Doesn't really at the end of the day. It gets them I think they got like $1,000 out of the deal. For last year, they got $1,000. That city has a budget of $3-4 million. You know what I'm saying? First off, you can do a better job than that. Second off, quit messing with the damn citizens of this damn city, and don't worry about that. Let them bring their own damn food in. You can sell it to them and sell it to them as expensive as you want to. Just you don't get exclusivity.
Yeah, sell it to them, but don't tell people they can't bring their own food.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I would much rather, instead of Chick-fil-A, and this is no offense to Chick-fil-A, but I would much rather you find and hire somebody that is not bringing in Chick-fil-A, that's bringing in other stuff other than Chick-fil-A.
Right. Why not have, if you have the resources in there to have a Chick-fil-A, why not just have your own deli or restaurant or cafe or whatever you want to call it, and, have a local chef or cook or whatever and a restaurant manager, hire people on.
Yeah.
And do this.
Yeah, and I know why they pick Chick-fil-A, though. I know why they do, but,
Because it's fucking yummy.
Oh, it is yummy, though. No, you're right. It is yummy.
It is
Like,
delicious.
I can't even say anything bad. I can't even talk about this conversation at all because I love
She wants Chick-fil-A in the rec
Chick-fil-A.
center.
I love,
Because she wants
I love
Chick-fil-A
Chick-fil-A.
everywhere.
I hear you, man. I love Chick-fil-A, but even Chick-fil-A shouldn't have exclusivity. Because, sometimes I don't want chicken. Well, very few times, though. And they have good barbecue sauce there, too. They have the best.
The Chick-fil-A sauce is the bomb, though.
Yeah.
That's
The
what
Chick-fil-A
it's-
sauce.
Yeah.
I only have the barbecue.
Their own sauce.
And honey mustard.
It's a mustard-based sauce, but it's yummy. Next time you go to Chick-fil-A, ask them for the Chick-fil-A sauce.
Are you messing with me?
Not at all.
All right.
I'm not messing with you.
Well, you don't have a drink?
Yes, you did. He totally forgot about it. Totally.
Clean up the
Started
garage.
talking about food, and he remembered his drink.
Yep. Just clean up the garage, by the way. So
Yeah.
you can see that in the background? Is it back there?
Well, got to go to the other camera, go to this angle, and people can see it.
That's pretty cool,
Now
right?
it's on camera.
That was in the garage. We cleaned up the garage.
That
Never did
is-
officially use that logo, even though unofficially at the end it became like the...
It became the most popular logo of the people within the...
for those that knew,
Yeah. It's the
I
coolest
wanted to
thing.
use that one. I really did so bad.
You would so get sued for that.
Oh, yeah. I might still use it. You never know. I mean, you got to change where I'm going for city council,
Oh, yeah. Not a difficult design change, though.
Yeah, it wouldn't be bad. I probably wouldn't use it, though. I'm going to go very generic. Red, white, blue.
Not blue and yellow?
For the yard sign, blue and yellow.
See, we switch camera angles again, and we see the Overby sign.
Yeah, we haven't put it all up yet, so.
Or at least
I don't know if
the
I would
top
or
of
not,
the
though.
Overby
Be honest
sign.
with you, I don't know if I would or not, though.
Just like what?
I'm not
what
married
was
to I'm not married to any of the colors.
Was it the first generation of your campaign that signs that were
Black and red and white.
Oh, those were the black and red and white, and then the yellow and blue ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of those signs is here too. It's around here somewhere. Well, I have a whole box of them out there still. My in-laws had a bunch of stuff when they brought it. They brought it over. I had some stuff I left in their garage, some campaign stuff.
Probably had a ton of that floating around for a long time.
Yeah, I got a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. We found an entire box of cards.
I've got a stack of cards still from the campaign.
Yeah.
Of your cards.
I still have a box. Well, they'll be cool like a bunch of years from now. They were cool little cards. I love that first logo, man. That was a good
Yeah.
logo. Paid $800 for that logo.
It was awesome.
Buddy of Mark's did it for me.
And you don't. Oh yeah. You
I was
don't
by
have any
myself
over
then.
here. No, that's not that one.
Well, which one? Yeah, that's it.
That is.
Yeah,
the
that's
one?
it. That's
Okay.
the one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they didn't like that one
was
very much
awesome.
because it didn't say libertarian on it.
Well,
When I made the design, I was MPA though.
mm-hmm.
Can you blame me?
Yeah. And the candidate, I don't know. I don't know about that fight. Does the candidate have to put the party on for...
You know what? The way I look at it is, you don't have to. There's nothing in the law that says you have to. JWS is crazy. None of the law says you have to. However, there is something called libertarian unwritten law. And in libertarian unwritten law, I would say that is definitely what you would consider to be a faux pas. And one that is
Right.
worthy of ridicule. So if a libertarian candidate asked me if they were going to put libertarian on their stuff, I would say, yeah, you better do that.
Yeah.
And not because of any other reason than just why give people a reason to complain about you? Why
Right.
give libertarians a reason to complain about you?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, people don't like me now because of that. There are people out there that really do not like me because I did not put libertarian on my stuff. I mean, I did at times and different stuff, but like it just didn't. I wasn't designing stuff based off of that. I was designing stuff based off of what I thought would look good. I wasn't abiding by the sign and color rules. I was that libertarian. I couldn't even abide by your rules. I got shit
I'm
for
too
it.
libertarian for the libertarian rules.
And I will tell you at that point, though, there were people that were helping the campaign that I listened to. That looking back, I would never have listened to now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to name names off the top of my head online.
You don't need to name
now.
names.
I'm not gonna, but I'm just saying there's some people that I really shouldn't have listened to that I listened to, and I do admit that. I mean, it was my fault. At the end of the day, I made the call, but shit that got me in way more, and not even deep crap, but just open yourself up for abuse at that point.
Yeah.
Like I didn't need to do. I shouldn't have done it, and I was doing it for the wrong reason anyway. You know. I do think if you're out there as a candidate, you should be promoting. For a libertarian, promoting the party's got to be part of it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not forcing anybody, mind you. I'm just saying for me.
Yeah, I guess if you're running under the party banner, then because
Because we're like Indians.
Oh.
Hold on, was that it? Did you consider that to be a racial joke
it was funny.
or factual? Because there's just not a lot of Indians around.
Well, yeah, both. Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. Well,
That's
I mean,
a cool
they
thing,
did-
though. But you get
they
casinos
did-
now, dude. Come on.
They did get killed off. I mean, it's not like there weren't a bunch of them around.
You bunch of damn white man. Bad blankets and fucking horrible beef. But at any rate. But I think that if you are a candidate... Now, if you're going for nonpartisan race, you can't say anything about your party. Doesn't work that way.
Right.
Can't say nothing. Nothing can be on it. Nothing at all.
And that can sometimes be to the advantage in these smaller local races for libertarians because they don't have to. Not only do they not have to mention their party, they can't.
To be honest with you, I would totally 100% agree with you, and I should have known this a year ago when we watched Mike's campaign. Because the only reason that he lost was because of his age. That's it. No other reason.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who was in their 30s would have won that race. And if you got 4 times the money, you definitely can do it. Anybody could.
There you go.
You know, and getting 4 times the money actually shouldn't even be that hard. You just got to go do it yourself. And what it is, it's almost like you got to get 20 or you got to get 40 to max out on you.
Yeah.
I think I can find 40 that'll max out on me.
Just get them on nextdoor.com. Just beg them for money.
No, not those people. Not those people. Those are this is where you got to get your money from somewhere else. If you run for office before, if you know enough people, you know people that donate to campaigns.
Right.
You go to those people and say, "Hey, why don't you donate $500 to my campaign? Here's what I can do." I don't need that many people I can go to that person and say, "Look, I just need 20."
Right.
You know what I mean? I can do this. It's 2 mailers. Here, like when you go to somebody and pitch them like that. Look, we could never, as people, like if I'm going for a state house race, to go to somebody and say, "Look, I get 20 of you, I can do this thing." You know what I mean? No, you can't say that because you need a lot more money than that. You need, you need hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And these guys are set in their areas. Don't get me wrong. There's a big contingent of people that you can get to swing out your way because nobody pays attention to these races. Only the insiders do. You got to be able to get name recognition out there and stuff. But in these municipals, it's even different because you got a way lower number.
Yeah.
But our problem is, and I think some of our problems are, I'm not going to speak for everybody. I can only speak for myself. There was a time where I would go, I'm not going to run for city council seat. I'm better than that. You know what? I'm not better than that.
No, you're not better than that.
That's an important ass seat, by the way.
It is, especially for the city. I mean, it's the city you live in. Why shouldn't you try and have some say over it just as much as the country?
Well, how can I even look outside the city? How can I even look outside the city if I can't? If I don't get the city, if the city's not right?
Right.
At least as right as possible. Again, you got to deal with the feds and the state and the county even, so that sucks too. But if you can get your city fixed first, I mean, you get a good chief of police there. Individual rights are protected. You can do a lot of things local. If you get the right people in there.
And governing with libertarian principles on a local level, can really work and show people that we can use it on a larger level.
Well, yeah, no, absolutely. But here's the thing, though, and this is where the differences would come into play, where how you govern as a libertarian would come into play. Things like the parks. Like, what are you going to do with the local parks that are in the city limits? Like, are you going to sell the parks?
No.
So the city will own the parks, right? So they'll still have a parks and recreation department, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not... If I were elected to city council in my city, I would not come in, as a libertarian, wanting to close down the parks. The first thing I would look for is redundancy, waste, corruption, fraud, those kinds of things. The things that's easy to get everybody behind, that everybody understands is a problem, and is the result of growing and bad government.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, no.
You know what I'm saying?
I 150 million% agree with you, by the way, which is the most I've ever agreed with another human being. That's the top. The creme de la creme in agreement on a statement right now just happened. I'm just saying.
I think it's that simple to start with. I mean, quite frankly, any libertarian and any elected official that's representing the people, that should be their goal going in. To first look at government, get rid of the waste, redundancy, corruption, fraud, and let's try and get this fixed, because we're the ones that make these decisions, and we're the ones that can. So we have to get this fixed.
Yeah, and there's 5 people in the city of Newport Richey to do that.
Yeah. So, hey, if the Parks Department happens to have a lot of redundancy and waste and corruption and fraud, then, well, maybe the parks might be getting sold. But if the parks are being run in a trustworthy manner, and it's not costing the city too much money, I mean, if it's costing us a reasonable amount of money and it's not bankrupting us for all these parks, and we had, and
yeah, I don't. But here's the thing, I haven't looked at all the budget numbers, and they're getting ready to actually redo Sims Park. Like, if you don't know anything about it, they have a park here called. Actually, funny enough, when I was in high school, they were building Sims Park, the park area for the kids, and I was actually helping in building the park. Funny enough, when I was a little kid, probably my last bit of community service, mind you, but at least anything directly with the city. But I did actually ask to go on one of the on the unelected advisory boards, though. What happens is they have openings on all these unelected boards, like advisory boards. The citizens go on these boards and then they talk about stuff.
Right.
There's a land management one that had an opening, and I applied for it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll get it or not, though. I might. To be honest with you, we put down references.
That's a foot into getting soil and water.
Well, no. Land management's a whole different thing. Land management's like the 20-year plans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Land management's like Agenda 21.
Well,
I mean, where they make those decisions for Agenda 21 are done in land management, though.
Right.
In all reality, I mean, that's what they're there for.
Yeah.
But there's some really cool things you could do with the city, especially one of 8,000. Look, the city of Dunedin could have done this, and you could go totally green as a city, and in all reality, do it in a very good way. Like, you could do it in an easy way, one way that would actually save you money as a city. The first thing is, it depends on what we realize what's going to stay in government and what's not going to stay in government. Because I would argue that streetlights are going to stay in government, even at a city level.
Right.
That the city controls them, mind you, but like the county doesn't or anything else, that the city does. But that the city is going to be the ones that do that, right?
Right.
Well, if you replace the way that they get electricity now with solar and put them on top of them, which can be done, it's not hard to do, you actually could have it pay for itself in like 3 years. Like, you could spend the money, it'd pay for itself in 3 years.
There you go. Why not? And see, those are the great kind of decisions that need to be made. That is kind of a libertarian decision, because it's good, reasonable government decisions.
Okay.
It's not anarchists going, well, we just got to sell the streetlights to somebody in the private industry to manage it. We don't need the government to do this. Get rid of the streetlights.
Well, here and the thing is this, though, and this is where and people would say, well, this is the first sign of statism. But look, I'm willing to cede that people overall are going to want the government to do with the streetlights. Like, I'm going to cede that one from them. Like, I know we're never going to ultimately win that battle.
Yeah.
More than likely. But if I made it so the city has control over it and nobody else does, and that the county would have control over the county parts, you know what I mean? Then the state really doesn't have any control over anything after that. You know, between the county and the city, anything that was being controlled by the government was done, you know, at those two levels of government. I mean, I think we're going to have to say that it got as local as possible.
Yeah.
You know? And that's where people will go, well, you're just a statist. You know what, then, all right. You know, I mean, I want City Hall to, you know, I want them to be able to do the streetlights. Now, I want them to be able to do them effectively, though, so I want them to actually fix the damn things. And some of it is a safety issue, though, because the woman, like, if your streetlight's out, that woman had to walk around with a gun because there's homeless people live around there and she's been robbed before. You know? Right.
To me, the people who say you're a statist for any level of government are just as bad as the people who want government to control everything at every level.
Yeah.
You have to have a balance. I mean, it comes down to, you know, from the beginning of time, we have gotten better by listening to the people who came before us and learning their lessons without having to make mistakes on our own.
Yeah. Well, we're supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, it helps us grow to not have to make mistakes over and over again.
Yeah.
And kind of learn from them and accept these lessons from the past. And we need that guidance. We need leadership. We need some structure to keep this going.
Wow.
And I'm not saying
I agree with you.
I'm not saying that we need Big Brother, but you know,
yeah. I'm not even saying it's over. I'm saying right now that's what you have. Until those things find a way to fix themselves, which it's going to be a long time before you're able to do that. Because in all honesty, individuals no longer have the ability to be self-sustaining anyway, at least the way it currently, the structure currently stands right now.
Right.
Turn the electricity, turn the water off, you tell me how self-sustaining you are.
Yeah.
You're not.
You just, we talked about that poll before. You just ask people what they think will happen. They think they're dead in 24 hours.
Yeah. So, you know, we're going to have to fix that number first. And the only way to do that is locally anyway, though. You know, and you start doing that. Here's the thing: you can start sucking off what you could end up doing, depending on how much you're getting from it. But you can end up making battery stations. There's new technology out there for this battery technology that you could actually start using this stuff. You put those in areas around, so if there was ever power outages, one, it will be much more localized, like it won't spread so far because you'll have these pods all around to actually be more like stations. Like, you could do that on a local level, stuff like that.
Well, that's the other thing with the streetlights. Get the streetlights to where the one light is self-sustaining off of solar power. It doesn't matter if the grid goes down. You've still got lights in your streets, in your city.
And you have to find a way to make the citizens, and again, not by force, but by voluntary action. You got to make them stakeholders, because I think you get more people involved if you make them stakeholders. Give them some ownership in it, you know what I mean, and getting these things done. I don't know how you do that, but you can't pass a law to make them infringe on somebody else, but you want to be able to recognize that these people are, you know, leaders in the community that are doing good work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, that one's more of a PR battle anyway. You know what I mean? But people that are trying to advance, you do good work, go ahead. We'll give you a little something. America.
That is America.
Like, I'm such a dork, too, for local government, by the way. I'm just a dork. I'm sitting in there listening intently to the whole thing, watching them assign people to MPO boards, listening on every word, because that's where the beginning stuff happens. All these other if you think about it, if you ever go to Tallahassee, you'll know what I'm talking about, because there's 5 or 6 different lobbying organizations up there that represent the boards that these people are members of.
To get the state to
give them money. These are the government lobbyists. There's a lot of them up in Tallahassee. And what they do is they get together as a community and then go and lobby Tallahassee for more money for this and this and this and this and this and this. Because it's part of their 20-year plan. This is what they're doing all the time. That's their deal. That's why they're in those offices. And to be honest with you, some of them don't even understand what the hell they're doing, because they're just, honestly, they just don't even understand the full I don't think they understand the full ramifications of what they're doing, or they don't care. I don't know which one it is, to be honest with you. But the thing is this. Only a couple hundred people elected you in office. We should be able to get you guys out in a city of 8,000. if you're not going to do the right stuff. If it takes be honest with you, if it takes too long, they just got to. They've been talking about selling the hacienda for years. They pay $10,000 a month for the interest on just to be able to own it. $10,000 a month. That's how much money they're wasting for a piece of property that they really could be generating money for them if they even want to look at it that way.
Yeah.
Right now it's a liability. It could be actually an asset. If you gave it to somebody else and they're paying, property tax and all that kind of stuff on it, which still sucks. I mean, I'm not proposing that, but I'm saying is that, by the laws that are set up right now, and which we don't really change, the property tax laws, we just get a portion of. We don't get all of it. That still goes to the state and the county.
Yeah.
So we can't stop that part from happening. I mean, I guess you could, but you're looking at some armed shit at that point. I ain't trying to do armed shit right this very second. You know what I'm saying? Not that there's anything wrong with that, because if they come in and start infringing on your shit, man, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Gotta water the tree of liberty.
You take a couple 100 heads of cattle, man, we're gonna be talking.
What's the latest on that? I
don't even know right now. Well, it's because it went into the entertainment mode now.
Did it?
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, man. They stood up to the feds. Be honest with you, this is a great reason why the Second Amendment works. Because here's the thing: at the moment of impact, those cops that are out there are not feeling like they're part of the New World Order. They're feeling that the citizenry has guns on them right now. That's going to make you sidestep what you think you're doing. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
This is why you need a Second Amendment, by the way. And nobody died. Nobody died. But you know what, though? Nobody died. I know that sounds weird to say it the same way twice, but, maybe nobody died because they had the Second Amendment and it was out in the public.
Yeah.
Waco, what happened there? Guys, you guys know what happened at Waco.
Yeah.
Whether that guy was right or wrong or indifferent, man, you don't kill everybody.
Yeah. Firebomb the house.
Yeah, you don't do that. And, it went bad. Yeah, you know what, man? Maybe it went bad because you shouldn't be doing that stuff.
Maybe it went bad because we got too many trigger-happy status.
Well, yeah.
Out of them.
Too many damn laws.
Yeah.
That's one of the problems. You want the ashtray?
Yes.
All right, then.
I was trying to not.
Oh, my bad, Veronica.
Okay.
Like, you watched the show before. You know what happens.
Yes.
You think I was going to be quiet. What the hell?
Segue. What segue?
Oh, we got a segue going?
No.
Again, it probably is boring. I bet you a lot of people are very bored by listening to this, by the way.
Well.
And I really wish that wasn't the case. Like, I wish you weren't bored. I wish you understood that you should be doing this.
I wish you understood how important it is for you
Or
to
how,
not be bored.
the other thing is how easy it is, though. Like, nobody's in there. Your voice will be heard no matter what. Look, they pop Vox at City Council, where I'm at.
Right.
I counted 8 times last night. 8 times. They pop Voxed 8 separate occasions. Nobody went up and said a word, by the way. Now, the guy gave him anybody that would have had an opportunity could have gone up there and spoke on any issue whatsoever. They were doing the changeover to the new mayor last night, and to be honest with you, I did not want to go in there and say anything because I was going there as an observer. I was still we haven't gone in a couple months, and they're doing some ceremonious crap anyway. So they're not going to do anything serious that night, even though they did get into discussion about the other thing.
Right.
And they don't put their stuff out timely enough, too, which does kind of suck. The agendas aren't timely enough. I don't think they're hiding anything. I just think they're inefficient in this area.
然They're slackers.
They're just slacking a little bit, but that's okay. Maybe Marlowe will fix it. I don't know. I might ask him to fix it, actually. And that's the other thing. If you got to talk to one of these guys, look, man, you get a hold of any of these guys. You can get a hold of all of them very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Now, they can only talk to you about so many things because of sunshine laws and stuff, which kind of is BS, but at the same time, it's supposed to be there to protect. Like, anything he says, he has to say publicly.
Right.
He can't say it to you privately. It's called sunshine laws.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they can't talk about council business when they're not in session.
Right. Because it has to be out in the open.
Yeah, because it has to be out in the open. Which
I
actually
don't
is
really have a problem with.
It's a very debilitating law.
In a lot of ways it is, but I don't really have a problem with it. Because one of the things that I have a problem with is too many decisions are made that affect all of our lives on golf courses that we have no say in and know nothing about.
I completely agree with you, and those things are still happening with or without this law.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, the law is an attempt to stymie some of that, but it still happens.
You're right. The problem is that the unintended consequences is that good people will not do that. And the act of doing that, of talking to your representative about an issue, is not necessarily a bad thing. It's if there's quid pro quo behind it, is if there's special deals being worked. But the conversation itself, I don't think is something that, like, you should be able to admit to somebody, yeah, I had that conversation at that time, but I'm not allowed to have the conversation. Right. Sunshine is the acknowledgement of the conversation, I guess you could say. I would be fine with that.
Right.
Not being able to do it's BS.
Yeah, that's a little rough. I mean, it's another one of those laws. I totally understand the point of it.
With you there.
Unfortunately, it doesn't really solve the problem. It's one of those things that's easy to get around. So, because it's easy for them to say, oh, well, I can't talk about it with you, and then talk about it with somebody else in private, and nobody knows about it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these people have all been up there for, well, not Starkey, but, and the other guy. A lot of these guys have known each other for like 20, 30 years, though, but they all known each other because they've all worked with the city in some shape, manner, or form, or something like that. Like, they've all been working for the city.
Right.
Collecting a paycheck from the city.
For decades.
Well, now the city council people, though, they don't make very much money, though. A couple $100 a month at the most. Like, they make next to nothing. I don't know exactly what the workaround there is, but they've worked. What it is they'll work for the city for 20 or 30 something years, and then retire, and then go and get a city council job.
Yeah,
something like that.
Because they know everybody in the city. They know all the inner workings. It's real easy to.
And they know the couple hundred people that vote.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's real easy. You get the inside.
I don't think that's the way that people should. Well, I think some of it is done actually pretty well in the local area. I don't think Newport Richey is a bad city by any stretch of the imagination, by the way. So I want to preface it by saying that I don't think it's a bad city. I think one of the biggest problems we have in Newport Richey, though, is that it's very hard to do business in the city, though. That's one thing. And the other thing is they just hold on to real estate they shouldn't be hanging on to. Like, they can fix those two things very easily. The other things are all bonus stuff, like the streetlights making them green and shit like that. Like, you could do that. Wouldn't be hard to do. And you should be doing it. Why you're not, I don't know.
Right.
You guys are just... The thing is that it works so very inefficiently. And there's not a lot of follow-through. And one of the reasons there's not a lot of follow-through, I think, is because... I think you have a whole lot of people that are way too stuck in what they've been doing, not to look at things fresh anymore. Like, they have this is the way we've been doing it for a long time thing. Don't mess it up.
Right.
When it's like time to mess
broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, it's broke. Just didn't realize it. You're
Yeah.
out of date. You know, those lights ain't changed in 30 years, man. We need some new shit. You know, and you need to focus back on the basics too, though. Like, you focus on making sure that, you know, the street lights work. You focus on making sure that the road work's done, so the streets are nice. You know, that's what you work on. That's it. Everything else take care of itself, man. Sell that damn property, you bastards. Get rid of those regulations. Let businesses flow. There should be farmers markets down there. Everybody should be going local, and the city council should be just promoting do business local. That's it. You want to budget some money out to do that crap? I'm fine with that. Go with that.
Well, we got less than a minute till break. What do you want to do for break?
We do any music, we're screwed, right?
Usually, yeah.
Is that the case?
Yeah.
Is there any interviews that are worth it on there? I feel bad for people for the interviews because I haven't done a lot of new ones. I'm busy though, guys. You got to forgive me, man. You got anything to say, Veronica?
Not yet.
All right.
I have to pee right now.
A little TMI, but we'll go with it.
I mean, you asked.
Well, no, it's right. No, that's absolutely true. By the way, that's absolutely true.
That's about all I can think.
You want to do the
right
Paul
now.
Henry interview?
Yeah, we'll do Paul. How long is Paul?
9:09.
Oh,
9:09, huh?
Good.
That's quite a break then. Yeah, let's do Paul. Henry.
Quite a break, but it'll let her go pee.
it
and,
lets me go pee. Yeah, awesome.
and everybody has, if there's a line at the bathroom, everybody can.
Handle their business.
Yeah.
All right, you're listening to Liberty or to Off the Rails. Oh. What do you need? Oh, you need this.
Good afternoon. This is Alex Snicker, 1787network.com. Currently
on the line with us is Paul Henry. Now, Paul Henry is with the Liberty First Network, and if you're unfamiliar with Paul Henry, what these guys do is these guys are on the front line of battling bad legislation in Tallahassee and also trying to promote good legislation in Tallahassee. Again, if you're trying to influence the current elected officials that we have, there's not really a better way to do that than what Paul and John are doing up in Tallahassee. And we're going to talk some specific topics today with Paul. Paul, how are you doing today, sir?
Very good, Alex. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, no, my pleasure, my pleasure. Can you give us a little bit of a lowdown as to what it is that you do up in Tallahassee? I know a lot of people are not really familiar with what you do up there. Can you give a little description of what you do up there?
Sure. In a nutshell, we talk to politicians. When I spoke at the group here last month, I asked up front, how many people have a favorable impression of lobbyists? And nobody raised their hand. And I said, how many lobbyists are there that are smaller honest government? And of course, nobody knows. Well, the answer is basically there's two. There's me and there's John Hallman. We go up there and we talk to these politicians on issues of liberty, limited government, freedom, financial issues, spending. And we try and have an impact on things, whereas in the past, it's basically been John by himself. He's been at this 11 years. I've been at it about 3 now. And so that's what we're trying to do, is have an influence on our legislators for the First Amendment to redress our grievances. We are not the typical lobbyist making $92,000 a year being paid off by special interests.
Yeah, no, absolutely. As a matter of fact, and one of the reasons why you guys are so desperately needed is because of this, I hate to say slick politicians, but you really got to know what you're talking about when you're discussing these kinds of important issues with politicians, because if you don't understand what's going on, it's very easy for these politicians to kind of, I don't want to say snow you over, but kind of snow you over a little bit and not really being able to get to the meat of the issue and to get past the talking points that they would want to give you.
Oh, absolutely. It's an eye-opening experience to see how the game is played. I've only been at it, like I say, about 3 years. I've learned a lot, an awful lot from John, as far as how to be effective in what we're doing. And, of course, what we do, it's a two-phase thing. If we were up there just by ourselves and had no public support, we'd be wasting our time. If the public's trying to get things done and they didn't have people on the ground in Tallahassee, they'd be wasting a lot of their time. So it's a mutually codependent type of situation.
That's mutually beneficial between the general public and with what you guys are doing up there, and it only works if it's working both ways. Now, one of the things that's going to be going on in this next session has a lot to do with red light cameras, and I know that there's a lot of support for the elimination of red light cameras in the state of Florida. Can you give us a little bit of an update on what's currently going on with red light cameras and what you guys are doing to try to eliminate these from our streets?
Just as a little bit of a background, Florida passed a state law in 2010, effective in July, to authorize state level authorization of them. The cities have been doing it, some of them on their own, improperly before that point. That's what the recent lawsuit in the Supreme Court was about. What we've seen happen is the data came out a little bit, and a lot of it was what I call fuzzy math, because these cities would never want to publish what I call actual numbers of crashes, especially the ones caused by red light violations, which is why the camera's there in the first place. So there was just a dearth of data, a total lack there of this stuff. And so this went on for a little while. And when I was first going up there talking in 2011, we didn't have a whole lot of data. But as time's gone by, now with 2013, there's just a tremendous amount of data available that shows these things are not doing, for safety, what they're supposed to be doing. And even from the revenue standpoint, I've got a $30 million discrepancy that I'm going to be talking about in the legislature this year. We've got 2 bills filed, a House and a Senate companion bill, to repeal the red light camera scheme.
No, that's great. That's really, really great. Now, if somebody's listening to this and they want to be able to help you guys out when it comes to the elimination of red light cameras, and it was good before that you talked about the kind of relationship that you and that the grassroots need to have in order for both of you to be effective, what can people do now in order to help you be more effective up in Tallahassee?
Well, there's 2 things. I'll be blunt up front. We need money. It costs us $100 a day to have John Tolman up from Central Florida to stay up in Tallahassee and to have a motel, to have something reasonable to eat. I mean, we're not taking a cruise ship off the Alaska coast to do the stuff we do. We're very frugal. I ride a motorcycle. I park it at City Hall for free. I probably shouldn't say that, but I'm cheap, and that's how we go about things. So we need financial support from everybody. And the bad thing is people tend not to get involved until something directly affects them. This particular issue, the red light cameras, We have people join our group, the Florida Opponents of Red Lights Coalition, after they get a ticket, $158. Now, if they had spent just half of that, $75 a year, to help us out with what we're doing, we'd have tremendous support, and we'd be able to get some more people involved. And ultimately, that's our goal is to grow Liberty First and get more lobbyists up here on the side of liberty as opposed to these special interests.
Oh no, absolutely. Let me just interrupt that real quick and say that because the companies that have these red light cameras, the ones that are putting them out there, they have lobbyists up there as well that are lobbying to expand the use of the red light cameras. So you're actually against the companies that are putting these things out there. That's correct, right?
Oh yeah, they're actually behind the scenes now. The people that we're speaking against in committee since 2011, when I go up there and speak against these things, the people I'm speaking against are police chiefs, police captains, police administrators, city council people, quote-unquote government relations lobbyists. These are government employees. They're paid tax money to go up and lobby other government employees, legislators. And it's kind of a silly situation if you think about it, but it's very lucrative and effective for them. And then you've got the Florida League of Cities. They also have lobbyists that come up there. The private sector people, there's over 24 of them, and it was chronicled earlier this year that they had spent $289,000 so far this year on lobbyists just for this issue.
Yeah, exactly. And now you talked about the funding of what people can do. What else can people do that can help you out when it comes to being up in Tallahassee and to try to eliminate these red light cameras?
We are going to narrowly and specifically ask people to call, write, email specific legislators at a certain point because these bills are going to be heard. Normally in the bill process, there's a lot of things that can go on to keep a bill. A bill's only got one path to success, but it's got many paths for failure. Many things can kill it. On our side this year, the Senate probably passed. We've gotten a House bill passed the last couple of years, but then nothing's happened in the Senate. On our side this year, Senator Brandes is the chair of the Transportation Committee, and he is the one that sponsored the repeal bill. So I'd say the chances are very good that it's going to be heard. Now, when we put out an alert, we're going to ask people to call, email, and write to these specific officials that are on the transportation committees when it's going to come up for a vote. In other words, if we had them call right now when it's not scheduled for a vote, it wouldn't even make it in one ear. I'd like to say it would go in one ear and out the other, but it wouldn't even make it in one ear. These politicians, especially when the session's coming up, are going to be very narrowly focused on the bills that they are going to hear. If they're not going to hear it, honestly, they're not going to pay too much attention to public input. So we need to have the public reaction and output at the proper time on this bill as well as any other bills that we're working on.
Yeah, and if you look at the links that are going to be on this post, you'll see the website that you can go to in order to sign up to be able to get these action alerts. Because what Paul is saying is absolutely correct, is that you have to be very timely and very direct and specific in how you try to attack this issue. If you don't do it that way, then you are wasting your time as well as you're not going to be doing effective action that's going to have any effect. What is the website that people can go to in order to see this information?
Our website is libertyfirstfl.org. That's just the word lowercase, Liberty First, and then the initials for Florida, fl.org. And that'll take you to our main page, and there's an email sign-up on the right-hand side of that page.
All right, great. Well, Paul, Paul, sorry about that. Thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate you calling in with this information. And please, people, go to libertyfirstfl.org, sign up, make sure that you are part of this relationship to try to push back issues that are important, like getting rid of red light cameras in the state of Florida. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you, Alex.
This is Alex Snicker, 1787network.com. On the phone with me right now, Jody James. Now, if you don't know who Jody James is, she is the executive director of the Florida Cannabis Action Network. Their website is FloridaCan.
Alrighty, then we're back. We're back. Sorry about that, guys.
Started going into another interview.
Yep, started going into another interview on that one. My apologies on that one. So we're back. The phone number, if you'd like to call in, the studio line is 1-800-525-4032, 1-800-525-4032. Refresh Telecom, they probably don't want to say their name during this show.
Right. Well, Veronica told me an interesting story earlier, and I think she wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you can tell it.
Oh yeah, let's have Greg tell. Greg, go ahead.
He's a very good storyteller.
I would put
I am
Greg's
not.
storytelling capabilities up there.
Up there.
Oh my goodness. Let me catch my breath. Hold on.
And because he actually has increased everybody's reading by 1 point, I think in a way to pay him back, you know what I'm saying, to repay the debt, that he's got to tell the story.
Okay, well, I'll tell the story then. Young mother, the story, Dateline, Texas. Young mother, 23 years old, has her 2-year-old son on his birthday, running around with him, getting everything together. Took him for a haircut. He freaked out during the haircut, was having such a fit that he was like about to get sick. And then she took him to pick up the cake, and he had a tantrum at the baker's and flipped over a tray of cupcakes that she had to pay for. And you know, he's getting sick and he's getting cranky, and it's getting worse. And so she's got to go pick up the balloons. On the way to pick up the balloons, she's leaving, picking up the cake.
Balloons are the last thing she has to do.
Yeah, she's leaving to go pick up the balloon. She calls the balloon place. They're like, it's not ready. She's like, okay, well, I'm on my way. On the way there, boy falls asleep in the back of the car. She gets to the balloon place, pulls up right in front of the door, puts on her hazards, runs inside real quick. Says, are they ready? They're like, no, they're not ready yet. She's like, well, here, let me pay for them. My son's out in the car. Can you bring him out to me when they're ready? Yeah, that's fine. She pays, runs back outside, parks the car. Security guard asks her, hey, he's like, hey, you can't do that. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I was just running in. And he's like, no, you can't leave your kid in the car like that. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, I know, I didn't want to leave him in the car. He fell asleep, and I just ran in to pay, and they're going to bring it out to me. He's like, oh, okay. He drives away. A couple minutes later, the police pull up. The police question her, pull her out of the car, go question the people in the store, write her a citation for child endangerment, and now she has to deal with that. So, I mean, do you remember when you were a kid, going to the store, being left in the car for 90 seconds while your parents run in to buy milk or a pack of cigarettes or whatever it was?
I don't remember a specific instance when that happened. However, I will cede that I'm sure that it did.
I mean,
So I don't remember, and I would make it a rule never to do that. But I can't say that it would never happen, though.
Right.
Honestly, the situation, there's a lot of factors in play. As a rule, I would never. Honestly, I don't think I could ever do it. But at the same time, that's the question that you would be asking is that really something that, like, did you really break a rule there? Like one that the police need to get involved in? No.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
Does this girl deserve to have child endangerment on her record for not waking up the sick 2-year-old while she ran in and paid for the balloons?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that one. Yeah, I don't.
And
I don't
it's
think
not-
the police should be involved in something like that. Nothing happened at the end of the day. And again, if you guys are that aware, then what's the problem then? You get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? I mean, again, maybe you make it as you write it down as an incident or something like that. Like if you find out that this happened, and they're like, oh yeah, you had a police encounter. If they ask the question and you gave up the answer to that, and they write that down, then they write that down. If they see a pattern or something, maybe at that point, maybe you want to do something because if it's a pattern, then criminals are seeing the pattern too. And you want to save that little boy, so you're gonna have to kind of shake the mom on that one, though. I mean, if it's something that would be patternish, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Enough where it's incident, like it happens all the time. Like doing it every once in a while would be it happens, but doing it all the time, though, that's a different story.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'd be at on it, though. But yeah, you can't do that, man. They'll get you. They're looking for reasons.
Mm-hmm.
They want people paying in the system right now, man. So someone's like, don't do enough to cause you to have to work through the system right now because they're gonna milk you because they need to. They need the money.
And that's the real system that they want to get you in.
Yeah.
Because she's already been visited by CPS, and because you get.
Oh, that was the other really interesting part of the story.
Oh yeah.
Is what the CPS worker
You didn't tell me all of that, so you
said.
have to.
Okay, so the CPS worker shows up, unannounced, of course, to inspect the house, interview the woman, interview the father. The father works on the oil rigs. He's gone. He's not even going to be back for a couple more weeks. She is wanting to show me the baby's room, show me she's told her that the baby had to be, and this was on his second birthday. This was on the kid's second birthday. That at that age he had to be in a crib. Legally, it had to be a crib. And she kind of co-slept. And the worker told her that was not legally allowed.
Yeah, but why are they there to deal with this anyway?
The charge of child endangerment automatically
So
triggered
all of that for
the system.
So all of this was part of because of that ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because she told them at that point that the kid sleeps with me here.
Yeah. So now, because she didn't wake the 2-year-old and make him come inside with her while she dealt with the balloons. In the rain. Yeah, it was raining.
The rain.
Yeah, it was raining. Sick 2-year-old fell asleep in the back of the car. Did not wake the 2-year-old to come in for 90 seconds.
She pulls up to the front door. It's glass. Where the register was, she could see, she watched the car.
Yeah.
The entire time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, they shouldn't.
And here's the thing. Here's the spirit of the law and the letter of the law. And the problem is we have this law because of dumbasses who leave their child in the car while they go in the mall for 2 hours.
Right. With the windows rolled up.
With the windows rolled up in July.
Yeah.
So that's why we have this law, because we've got dumbasses.
Right.
No, that's true.
So now, people who have no ill intention and who are not neglectful parents at all have consequences on them. Nothing happened. Nothing happened to the child. Nothing bad happened. This was not something she would normally were the child awake, the child would go inside with her. The child is sick and just fell asleep. Do you wake a sick child?
No.
No.
Here's the thing. At that point, you're not going to go get what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? Like, at that point, you're going to have to go home. Again, different strokes for different folks. And the police shouldn't be involved in this crap anyway. And the real thing is, you have a whole lot of people that have to justify their existence in government.
Right.
And that all those people deal with people in those situations.
Right. Here's the thing. I don't necessarily think that this is a good decision that she made. Is it so bad that the police need to be out there that she automatically gets a ticket and you're lucky that you're not going to jail? And she is, because she absolutely could have been taken to jail for that. But now she's got to deal with this child endangerment charge, and she's got CPS showing up at her house, and she's now in the system.
Yep. And again, it's because they're making stupid little laws. And here, how much money did they waste on all these other things to go and check crap? Like, and again, if there's a pattern of behavior here, I think it's a different story.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have police contact with somebody, look, if they had a police contact, make sure everything was okay, which is what police should be doing, to be honest with you. Hey, is everything okay? Everything all right? Yeah. Protect and serve, man. Peace officers. That's what they're there for.
Here's the problem.
I'm not even the anti-cop, by the way. I mean, cop could be around. Go play catch with the neighbor kids.
Here's the problem. It's a completely innocuous event. Right or wrong, nothing happened. She wasn't being a bad mom. Okay?
Yeah.
This is now on her record. So, 5-6 years down the road, something happens. Who knows what's going to happen? 12, 13 years old, this child becomes very rebellious, and some shit goes down in the front yard, and neighbors call the cops, and mom's got a child endangerment charge. And at that point, it doesn't matter what your story was. They don't give a damn that, oh, it was a completely innocuous thing. No. So is this now a pattern?
Well, I mean, again, you got to take a common sense look even at the pattern, though, because if it's not for another decade, I mean, what the hell?
Still, it's not like
no, but that's just kind of the point, is that there is no more common sense. Because of a few stupid people, everybody has to live under
one of it's because of
14 trillion laws.
Well, the thing is this, though.
I mean, there's so many parts of this story that bother me. Like, the 2-year-old has to legally be sleeping in a crib, and it's illegal to co-sleep. Okay, those are two separate things right there. You're going to tell me that co-sleeping is wrong?
And illegal?
Really? Secondly, at 2 years old, my kid did not fit in a crib.
Yeah.
He was huge. He was in a toddler bed at that point. There was no way that he could have even been in a crib. There's so many parts of the story that are just...
Yeah. Hello, friend. Hello, friend.
Hello.
Yeah.
That's why they're out there. That's what. But this is the negative consequences of those actions: is that it takes away the freedom for the people to be able to make their own decisions. Because there are things that are safer and unsafer. Look, if that's a woman that did that all the time, and you were able to map out where she's going, because if you're going to certain places, sometimes you do it all the time. You can get a pattern on somebody. Mm-hmm. If they're going out and do that, something bad may end up happening to that person, even within 90 seconds. Even 90 seconds, it's bad enough. Especially if you get the car running and it's there, all somebody's got to do is just jump in and go. You know what I mean? Even with a locked door, don't take much to unlock that door, man. They can do it in a couple seconds. So you got to be mindful out there, man, because it's dangerous out there, man. It ain't like, there's some bad people doing bad shit. You know what I mean? Be careful. But don't get wrong, I'm a little safety in that aspect too, though. But only kinda.
And
for my kid, man, I'm stupid about that. It's probably a detriment to the kid, to be honest with you.
I try to find balance, because although that stuff happens, keep in mind that it's also a very low percentage as well. For as many people as there are in this country and in this world, the number of the children snatched and the stuff you're talking about being worried about, it's a very small percentage. It happens. It does. But
here's the thing,
but I can't live my life and live in such a way where I have to worry about somebody stalking my child and stealing my child. I can't worry about that all the time.
Well, here's the thing. I think the way I would look at it is that I'm on high alert in any of those situations. Like if I'm at a park, I know where he's at the whole time.
Right.
Like I'm walking around the park, man. I'm not sitting down just lounging or talking to people. I'm watching what the hell the kid's doing. You know what I mean? I'm not even interacting with him if he don't want me to interact with him.
I'll walk around the park.
I'll just walk around just watching him. I got eyes on him the whole time. I don't want him to hiding behind shit. None of that stuff. So when we're at that place, that's exactly what I want to do. You know what I mean? So like if I'm going into a store, because I can take my kid to the store with me, I would never leave him in the car. Never. Right. In a million years, I would never do it. But here's the thing. That's my kid, though. I can't judge how somebody else is going to raise their kid. That's their business, not mine. What I'm saying is the story that you're saying here, the cops shouldn't have been involved to begin with, and then you see why you need so much damn government for all this stuff. These people are trying to just give themselves jobs. So we're going to go in and inspect this. Oh, well, you shouldn't sleep with them this way. You should sleep with them this way. And we've made sure that there's a law that says that you have to do what we say. Like, screw you. You know what I mean? Like, I understand you coming in and giving best practices or making an informed public, which is what government, at least I think that being access to information when it comes to your government is something that the government's supposed to be able to provide for you to be able to make an informed decision. So transparency in government is key here. And the government should be there to provide that information to you. They got to be able to show you the books, basically. Almost all the books, way more than they're showing us. They won't do that, of course, but at any rate, these people are spending so much damn money on this crap, though. 90 seconds you're outside. Then the next thing you know, the one guy shows up, he calls somebody else, and how quickly did it all escalate? Then all the other places know. That's the computer for you right there, man. You're in the system quick now.
Yeah, because they're really in the business of being all up in your business.
Yeah. Hey, look, but they'll give you some money in order to do it, though. That's why a lot of people don't bitch. They're getting paid to do it. So you look at it, because if you get government benefits, though, and you started bitching about the other stuff, they're going to be like, well, we're going to take the benefits away then. You don't have to do this stuff. You just don't have. You can just turn them down. Need more people to go, yeah, okay, we'll do that. Not take anything. Fuck you.
It's hard.
It's hard. Oh, you're damn right it is.
It's hard to get people to not take stuff.
Oh, shit. Oh, I know.
When people start offering you stuff, it's like, hey, I like stuff.
Well, the good thing is that none of those programs should be stopping at city
you like
council.
stuff? I like stuff too. Let's be friends.
Yeah, we should hang out.
It's a good time. Now, hey, did you hear about this where the man with the first name of God is suing the credit rating agency?
Oh, that is so awesome. Yes. He is suing, which one is it? Equifax, because they refuse to recognize his name as legitimate because his first name is God.
God
Yes.
Gazaroff. God
Yes.
Gazaroff.
Yes.
Now, why did he change his name to
Gaz-
God, or did his
well,
mom name him God?
Gazarov is a Russian native who is named after his grandfather. So this is a family name in Russia. In Mother Russia, God is named after you.
So the other two credit agencies actually do support him. And this guy's like it's a legit name.
Equifax is just saying, no, you ain't God. And he's like, no, seriously, here's my birth certificate.
It says this right here, I'm God. No, I swear to God, guys. I wonder if he got a chicken corsage for his dirty crown.
I
don't know, but I think he's going to get a lot.
don't know that fried chicken is as popular in Russia. I mean, I can't see why it wouldn't be. Fried chicken is good.
Yeah, I do like fried chicken though. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a good time. I don't eat it as much as I'd like to, but I like to make it special sometimes, you know.
I just always thought it was ridiculous, the stereotype that black people like fried chicken. I'm like, everybody likes fried chicken.
Okay, can we not slide into food?
Oh, we can't help it.
Oh,
He's got a fried chicken corsage sitting in front of him.
all right.
All I can
Now,
think about is
in
chicken.
other kinds
Okay,
of
we won't-
strange news. In other
Yes.
kinds of strange news, a Nebraska toddler gets stuck inside a claw machine. What? Okay. So authorities say a toddler has been reunited with his mother. Like it was was this Toy Story? After employees
claw
found him
is
playing
our
inside
master.
a claw machine at a Nebraska bowling alley. So this little toddler climbs into a damn. Boy, that's some dedication.
Did they have
to
to
this
pay a
employees
quarter
right
to
there.
get him out?
Maybe. Police say that a 24-year-old woman called 911 Monday afternoon because her 3-year-old son was missing from her apartment. Oh, these guys are going to definitely get a visit from Child Protective Services here. Employees at the bowling alley across the street, meanwhile, called police to say a small boy was playing with stuffed animals inside the coin-operated machine. It is unclear how the boy ended up inside the claw machine. A representative from the vending machine company let him out, and he was reunited with his mother a short time later. He was not hurt. Police say that the mother was not cited because she quickly reported that her son was missing and there were no indications of neglect. So that woman got away with it.
Yeah.
She had stand your ground.
I called you guys and told you. I let
Yeah,
you in
call
my
the cops.
business voluntarily and told you what was going on.
Yep.
Yes.
So, hey, there you go. I wonder, had she called the cops and said, hey, can I get a cop to come sit and watch my child while I go in to get these balloons? I don't want to. What do they want us to do?
I don't know about that one, dude. I really don't, man.
We don't want to drive drunk. There's just no other way to get our car back to the house.
Now, what do you think about public shaming, by the way, Greg?
Fan of it, except when it's me being publicly shamed.
Like, you've heard, judges make rulings before that were kind of weird rulings, right?
Yes.
So, this one is a judge orders a man to hold up a I am a bully sign.
I'm a bully.
A 62-year-old man in Ohio is sentenced to wear a sign that reads, I am a bully, as punishment for harassing his neighbors for 15 years. Oh, my God. Edmund Aviv is ordered to spend 5 hours on a busy street corner with the sign on display in an unusual serving of justice. He pleaded no contest to the charge of harassment, and municipal court judge Gail Williams Byers selected the wording for the sign, which read, I am a bully, all bold. I pick on children that are disabled. I am intolerant of those that are different from myself. My actions do not reflect an appreciation of the diverse South Iluktut or whatever elucid community that I live in. Oh, that's kind of funny, huh?
Yeah. Hey, is it better than putting him in a cage? Do you think it will help him see the error of his ways?
If what he did infringe on the rights of another, then I would agree.
I mean, they're saying that he's picked on these people for the past 15 years. The most recent case stemmed from Aviv being annoyed at the smell coming from Mrs. Prue's tumble dryer vent when she did laundry. In retaliation, Aviv hooked up kerosene to a fan, which blew the smell onto Mrs. Prue's property.
Wow.
Well, that's infringing on the rights of another right there. That's dangerous.
Yeah, I mean...
He's a dick.
Let's
Yeah, he's
hold
a
on.
dick,
Let's
so-
send some gas fumes your way. Like, what kind of shit is that, by the way? Like, holy, oh my gosh, guy.
So, I mean... I don't know what else he's done. That's a dick move right there, though. I know that's a dick move, and I don't know that there's a law on the books that necessarily covers that dick move. So I think the judge...
Hold on a second. Here's what makes it worse, by the way, though. Mrs. Pugh, or Purg, has 2 adult adopted children with developmental disabilities, cerebral palsy, and epilepsy. Her husband has dementia, and she has a son that's paralyzed. So you're putting gasoline on the family of people that are all broken
Everybody's
in some way or
disabled.
another.
Everybody's disabled better.
Everybody's high maintenance more than anything else.
Right.
Like, everybody takes some work here, you know? And you're going to put gasoline on them? Like, whoa, guy. No wonder why you got to wear the sign. That's a minimum right there. It's a good public shaming, though. I'm actually a fan of public shaming.
Yeah, it's better than throwing people in a
But
cage.
only on things that you infringe on the rights of another on.
Yeah. And I don't have a problem with, like, parents doing it to children.
Well, I love parents doing it to children. That's the preferred method.
Yeah. You know,
That's when it works the best.
I mean, I'm iffy on the judges doing it this time. I certainly don't have a problem with it. I kind of like it, but the parents doing it to the children, I'm all for that.
Definitely.
Yeah, I get the feeling my son's going to be on YouTube a lot.
But I think in addition to the sign, he should have had to not it's very specific community service where he has to do something to actually help that family.
Right.
Not like, just picking up trash off the street, off the highway. Like, he has to do something to help that family.
Oh, well, I wouldn't disagree with that, but I think that was just the latest of 15 years worth of incidents, and I think there's a lot of other people that have probably been hurt by the guy, so there's some to spread around there. Mm-hmm. Just from the way the story reads, though, I think there's a lot more to the story than that because it was 15 years of stuff. He just called one lady like a bad word, and he spat on people, and like he was really bad. Threw dog feces on the son's car windshield, smeared feces on a wheelchair ramp, like smeared feces on a wheelchair. I just read that. I'm sorry. It didn't even. It took me a second for it to register.
Was it on the handrail?
Yeah, on a ramp. What a dick. Oh, he also had to serve 15 days
15
in jail.
days in jail, had to undergo anger management classes and counseling, as well as submitting an apology letter to Mrs. Prue. So,
yeah, you know what, man? Again, I hate to go. I'm not going back to it, so I'm just saying. Good times, though. That's good. That's a good story right there. I'm not upset with that. I like that.
yeah, I don't think that's a horrible decision.
Not at all. Not at all. Not even a little bit. Though.
Does he have to, like, go hold that sign in rush hour
I think only
traffic?
5 hours, though.
Like,
Just 5 hours. You probably got to pick the 5 hours.
I'd make him do 5 hours a week for the next 6 months, something.
Well, he only got to do it for 5 hours total, by the way. It's only 5 hours total.
Well, dang, he got off late.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I'm
Like,
not the judge.
I'd hold the sign up there just for shits and giggles for 5 hours.
I know. We do it.
I have done.
Yeah,
Yeah. Take our kids.
I mean, let me ask you another question here. Have you been following the Bundy thing? Have you really been following it?
Not as closely as I would like to. That's why I asked, what's been going on lately, because I haven't read anything about it in the last couple of days.
Well, so after they back down, right? So you know that the Fed's back down.
Yeah.
All right, so up to that. Everything now has been just, media stuff now. I mean, there's still stuff going on, but, like, it's not there's no big standoffs or nothing. They're all backing off now, at least for now. A lot going on out there, man. There's a lot of different angles and stuff like that. And this is another big one of those. Look, this is great. I thought it was great for the Second Amendment, what they did. Because nobody died, but, like I said before, it was great, though.
And that's why we have it.
Yeah.
It's a great example of why we have it. Because too many people try and make it about gun collectors and hunters, and that is not what the Second Amendment is about. It says nothing about gun collectors and hunters. It says something about a militia. And everybody in this room is militia if they're capable. Not her back in the day, but I'd let her serve if she had to and wanted to. I mean, that's what militia is. We all have to be ready.
Yeah, everybody's got to do their part. So, and having everybody look, that's where the Swiss have it. I mean, and again, this is very statist to do this, and I would never want this to be in America. But
The required service.
the required service in Switzerland. The thing is this, though, that they don't actually really require a standing army because everybody's in the army. But all you got to do is go out and shoot once a year, basically.
Yeah.
It's almost like a rite of passage in the country, and it's a very small country. You got to remember, a lot of these countries are very, very small. We're a very large country, all things considered.
Yeah.
You know.
See, there's difference.
Bigger ones, but not many.
There's the difference. Whereas, they issue guns. Everybody has a gun. You have to have a gun.
And there's hardly any crime there. Like hardly any.
Exactly. Nobody breaks into houses there. That is very rare.
Because they're all armed.
Yeah.
And they all know how to use the gun. They have to use it every year.
Yeah.
So they shoot you.
Every house you look at, you know there's a rifle in there because you got the same rifle. Because you had to do it too.
And if you ain't from Switzerland, you're screwed because you ain't got one.
Yeah.
These guys know how to use their stuff. Oh yeah, I mean that's why nobody ever tries to take them over.
Well, strategically, it's nearly impossible. They're mountains.
Yeah.
They're all high ground.
Yeah.
And everybody has to serve, and they're all prepared.
Would never want that here though.
No, I don't agree with that policy. I agree with local governance and doing what works. And for the Swiss, that works. It works well for them.
Yeah, fine.
And more power to them.
Go for it.
It has worked well for them for a very long time.
Just keep making that chocolate, man, because it's good.
Oh, yeah.
And that cheese. Make that cheese.
And don't close the banks.
And don't close the banks. And we're all right.
Yeah. Going back to food.
I know.
Always
I'll
goes
go away
back to
from.
food.
I'll go away from food. I got a story to tell, by the way.
Okay.
And I'll leave the names blank on this because I'm not going to say the names. But I was talking to somebody, and the overall subject of honesty kind of came up, and that if you become part of something, and that you see, and this is not even political, by the way, so I'm not even talking about something political right now. So I'm not. Overall, everybody's like, well, that's just the way things are done. That's just the way it's done. You know what I mean? Like, even stuff that's done that's bad is still, well, that's just the way things are done. The skimming off the top, the corruption, not corruption, but like just the little skimming off the top, you know what I mean? That these people, a lot of people do. That people will go, well, it's just the way things were done. Just the way of the world. Even though they know it's wrong to do. When you're the one that actually wants to stop doing that, I think you end up becoming very hated for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's funny. But everybody actually, at the end of the day, probably agrees with you, though. They're like, yeah, we know. We got to stop this thing, but we can't do it right now. You're crazy. And that goes not just for government, but for anything, for things in life, though. With organizations, I see this all the time.
Well, you remember Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire,
the
first movie? The line...
with great power comes great responsibility.
No, an even more relevant line. The only thing people love more than a hero is to see a hero fail, fall, die trying. they love to see the hero at first, and then they resent the hero, and they want to see him fail.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. They know that you're right, but they don't really want you to fix all this.
Yeah. Yeah, they get comfortable in it. A lot of people have gotten comfortable in it.
Yeah.
They make a living off of it. Good or bad, they try to fight it. They do what they can, but at the end of the day, they're just making a living off of it, though, and they really don't want the... They know what the gravy train's over, it's over. Mm-hmm. Like libertarians with the soil and water board. Like, they close it down. Yeah. Like, we'll end this thing. Okay, done. They're all out of a job then. They have no more job left. Yeah. They couldn't be happier. They got to close the government agency down. It never happens. They got to make what happen. Cool.
Yep.
And that thing held a pretty big budget. I think $3 million a year. Gone. That's the kind of things you can do. You can go soil and water and just eliminate them. That's not the only one. We've done that before. That's the thing. We don't even know our own history in Florida. We've done that before in other places.
It happens. It works.
Yeah.
Always going back to local politics.
Sorry. We'll go to somewhere else.
Sorry.
I'm trying. Yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I appreciate you acknowledging it, though. Showing me out of it. Have you seen the new Captain America yet?
I have not. I don't go see movies in the theater because it's just not a pleasant experience for me.
Why not?
As much as I love the big screen and the big audio, I don't like people. I'm a misanthrope. I really don't like people, and I like enjoying movies my own way. And I don't like people around me that are distracting and talking and on the phone, and it's sticky and messy, and the popcorn's way too expensive, and yeah, it's just
you don't like the movie experience.
Yeah, it's not what it used to be for me. I'm jaded in my age, I guess.
I can understand what you're saying.
I can't wait until it comes out on DVD and I can watch it in my living room.
I do enjoy the movie experience, but I understand the problems that you're talking about, though. I do like the movie experience, though. There's something about that.
I can't do it. I've been in management and projection for almost 20 years, so I am an elitist, and I'm used to having private screenings. So to walk into a theater and A, have to pay for it, B, what do you mean pay for the popcorn and the drinks? No, none of this stuff is... I get all that free. What are you talking about? And then, why are these other people in the auditorium with me?
You get spoiled.
Yeah, I'm totally spoiled.
Sounds like it.
Because we don't get that experience.
I don't give a crap. I like actually there were a bunch of people being in there. It's actually kind of fun.
Why? They tell a joke, everybody laughs, you don't hear the next 3 lines because everybody's still laughing.
And you missed the next joke that was the better one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like the experience in the movie theaters, though. I like the experience of that. I mean, you're going to miss some things out at times, of course, but there's an overall experience that... that doesn't happen all the time.
People playing on their phone.
I don't really see a lot of that while I'm there.
I admit it. I'm a misanthrope. I don't like people. It's
well, I can understand that too. By the way, I can understand you not liking people. I can understand you wanting to watch it in the privacy of your own home. There's something to that. I'm not saying there's not, man, but I like them. I do like the movie theater experience.
I love epic movies like the Lord of the Rings movies and the Hobbit movies, and they're long movies. And if I got to pee, I want to pause it. I don't want to miss anything.
I understand. Look, and here's the thing: just because you watch the movie doesn't mean you go watch it. You can't watch it later on DVD. You can still do both.
Yeah.
I do like the movie theater experience.
There are some movies that I feel like I have to go see in the theater.
I love the experience. I just can't.
Yeah. I swallow my hatred for people and the things that I hate about the experience for some movies. Star Wars movies, the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit movies. I didn't go see Desolation of Smaug in the theater, though. Didn't get a chance in time.
I don't even see a lot of movies in the movie theater anyway. I mean, if I go, I go, but it's very rare. I used to go a lot more than I do now, but it'll take a rare movie to get me to go though. I do want to go see Captain America though. I might do that on Sunday.
Yeah, we went and saw the first 2 Iron Man movies in the theater, and we saw the Avengers in the theater.
I saw Avengers in the theater. It was good.
That was very cool.
Wow.
That was a very cool movie.
I think big movies like that are like you can get a different like surround sound kind of deal there, man.
Yeah, yeah. Big epic movies is what I feel like I need to see in the theater.
Yeah.
You know, think like comedies and stuff. There is no need for me to see.
Well,
that in
there's
the
no
theater.
advantage theatrically. I don't think. That, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying, because it ain't like it's a big boom movie. You know.
Exactly. That's like definitely a sitting on your couch movie. You know, don't want to go see that in the theater. Yeah, and I'm sure that's what's killing the theater industry. I mean, I've seen so many stories lately about how they're struggling and having a hard time, and you know, it's with the advent of giant TVs and awesome sound systems. You know, people can have a great experience in their home, and it's a lot easier to sit on your couch and stream it over the internet than go to the.
Well, they
theater.
got to figure out those movie theaters actually got to figure out a new way to bring people in. That's what you're gonna have to do. You got to give them an experience they can't get from their homes.
Yeah, probably stopping with the commercials at home.
My dream was always to own a small draft house theater.
Like that only has like one movie.
Well, actually, I wanted a quad, and I wanted to do foreign films, independents. I wanted to do like Rocky Horror every Friday night
Every Friday
at
at
midnight. You know, and you serve alcohol.
Yeah,
That's
a
one
good
way
time.
to do it. That's one way to do it. I don't know if I do Rocky Horror every Friday, but you know,
Why not?
well, I think
If
that
you
people
have
would
a-
get.
see,
I think
no,
I think people would get kind of strung out on.
The people
Rocky
who are
Horror.
into it, no, they love it. I've done it. I've been a part of that scene for a while. It's awesome. People act out the movie
Yeah.
in front of the.
Where do they do this at right now?
I see. That's the thing. I would probably do it if I knew where people did it locally where I live. Since the last city that I lived in where I knew a theater where they did it was in Orlando. I don't know.
Where do they
one
do it
this
at in
area.
Orlando?
I don't even remember the name of the theater now. I think it was the one at the Central Florida Mall. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah.
The
It's-
one with
it's
the one
awesome.
with the hotel. No, that doesn't have a movie
No.
theater.
And it might not even be that name anymore. But I mean, this was
A long time ago.
Yeah.
Many moons ago.
many moons ago.
Many moons ago. I love that term, by the way.
Me too.
Many moons ago,
And a month of Sundays.
and a month of Sundays.
But yeah, Rocky Horror Picture Show. There's people who are into it will go every week. And
I think having one of those. Well, the thing about having one of those, especially in an area that doesn't have like if you can corner the market, not corner the market's not the right word for it, but really kind of corner a niche, I guess you could say.
usually in each city, there's only one theater that does it because there's only one theater that can. That
Like
needs-
all of them will go to that thing, but
Yeah. There's only enough
There's
people
only enough
to
of them to
really
fit a
sustain
movie
one
theater.
theater.
Yeah.
I mean, other than really big cities.
yeah.
Yeah. But almost every city I've ever lived in at least has one. I should find the one that does it here. I'm sure there is one in the area. I can't believe that means you've never gone to see Rocky Horror Picture Show in the theater.
No, never done it.
And yet you talk about how you love the theater experience and you've never done that. We should find out where it is and take him to Rocky Horror Picture Show.
See, that one I
Friday
actually might
night,
not like, though, because I wouldn't
midnight.
want to be involved in it, though. I want to watch it.
Well, there's like different parts. You sit in the theater and watch it and experience what everyone else is doing as well. I mean, have you ever seen the movie Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Yeah.
Okay, but you never been to the theater.
No.
So good, because then you don't, because you don't really go to watch the movie.
You go to watch the people that are gonna
it's-
act out the movie.
It's more the rest of the experience and everything else that's going on.
Yeah, that part would probably piss me off then, because I'm there to watch the movie, though. I'm not there to watch somebody. Like, they paid that guy a whole lot of money to do that role. They didn't pay you any money to do that role. Like, I'll watch the guy on the screen.
I don't know. Back me up here, Heather.
Yeah, man.
Veronica.
Heather's in the calf. She's really pissed.
No, from the movie Heathers.
Movie Heathers.
Oh. I'm sorry. I'm not paying attention right now at this point. I'm freaked out with this Rocky Horror Picture Show thing.
Okay, give me your take on the Rocky Horror Picture Show, Veronica.
It's my idea.
I know it's your idea, but help me explain to him what's going on here, because he doesn't seem to.
I think if you couldn't get through to him, no one could.
There you go.
Well,
I have to see it for myself then.
yeah.
There you go.
We got to take him.
Yes.
Friday night at midnight.
Well,
Is there a place around
from
here that does
where
this?
I'm
There's
from
gotta be.
in Raleigh, North Carolina, at the Rialto.
There you go. See. But we're not in Raleigh, so we got
But
to find
I'm
the
not.
place.
I'm not. This is.
I have a computer with internet sitting in front of me. What am I?
Are you going to look for it?
Yeah, these not my stomping grounds.
Well, that's what they make Google for. Well,
Which apparently he's using.
I think he's trying right now.
I'm Googling right now. Du-du-du-du.
It is funny to watch if you listen to a lot of these articles and read a lot about what's going on right now, how stuff is escalating though at a pretty rapid rate. Now I don't know if it's escalating because we're just getting more information out in a better way, or if the police are actually escalating, but there's some signs. I'm just saying.
Wait, what?
AMC Tri-City 8 in Largo, Florida.
They do it
Does it? Yes.
in Largo.
In Largo. Also, it's the Universal Cineplex 20 in Orlando that does it. Yes. Let's see.
Now, let me
Saturday at 11 p.m. is when they do it in Largo. We got to take him. We got to take Alex.
Yeah, we gotta take.
So let me ask you a question. So, like the people that show up here, do they coordinate showing up here, or do they
Yeah.
just show up in whatever they're going to show up in?
Some people coordinate it because some people are there every week. Some people do not coordinate it and just show up. You know, people like us who have done it in other cities and done it before, and you know that I did not go every week. That was one of the things that, like, sometimes with the right group of friends, you would go Friday night at
Right.
midnight to go
Right.
see Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's
Right.
maybe once or twice a year you would do it, you know. But it was often enough that you know what's going on, and you know some of these people eventually that are involved in this. And
I mean, my old theater had Pulp Fiction for 8 months.
there you go. If you had your own theater, Alex, with 4 screens, what would you run all the time on the movies?
Like if I only had one kind of movie to run, or
You,
one.
well,
movie
you
to run?
have 4 screens, so you can run 4 movies at a time.
I mean, one of them would
and you're
be-
going movies people need to see. I need to run these movies for people to see these movies.
Actually, do you know what I would do?
What?
I would do a monthly Freedom to Fascism night.
Nice.
Aaron Russo, Freedom to Fascism.
Nice.
I would run that one once a month. That's for sure.
There you go.
I think I would do Tarantino. I
And
would
make
make
it
almost.
free.
I would almost make it. Yeah, that one would be free. But I'd make a Tarantino screen,
Yeah.
like where one of them would have a Tarantino movie on it.
Yep.
Because there's always good Tarantino, and you can play like all of them though.
Well, yeah, whether it's
Yeah.
like Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs,
Four
Four
Rooms.
Rooms, you know, From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, you can include a lot of different guys. You can include some other guys too, though. But it's almost like the
Yeah.
Tarantino area.
Yeah.
Make one of them for anything new that's coming out,
Yeah.
and then I don't know about the other ones. I don't know. I think you almost would go themes with stuff, man. Like you'd make one where it's you bring back a movie that people ain't seen in a while. Do Heathers.
Do Heathers. Do like a Christian Slater weekend. You do Heathers. You do Pump Up the Volume, Gleaming the Cube.
Yeah, seriously. Like you literally do a Christian Slater weekend. Or,
Yeah.
You'll do it for different artists too, though. Like
Yeah.
different people. Like do a Tupac one or
Then
something.
do like a Star Trek marathon.
Yeah.
Do all the Star Trek movies. That would be awesome.
And then one for porn.
No, I do not want a
just
porn
kidding.
theater.
I'm just
I
kidding.
do not want the
I'm
cleanup on
totally,
that.
I'm totally kidding, by the way. I'm totally kidding.
I do not want to own a porn theater. I do not want to be responsible for cleanup at all. I would
do not want to
definitely
be responsible for porn cleanup.
I would definitely do Star Wars and Star Trek marathons. I would probably only run the first 3, the original.
Actually,
trilogy
what I
of
would
Star
do
Wars.
is a Star Wars, Star Trek decathlon, or however many, like an event though, to where they would do is we'd run them both at the same night, and then the fans of one would have to challenge the fans of another in some kind of thing where you get points for it, and then each night would be a new challenge.
the Galactic Games.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, you run something like that. That would be what I would.
In
run.
one theater, Star Wars is running, in another theater, Star Trek is running, and like in between movies, there's events.
Yeah, each night or whatever.
Yeah.
Or you could run it all like a marathon.
There you go.
Be funny.
Yeah, there's more Star Trek movies though, so it'd take a lot longer for that.
Yeah.
How many Star Trek movies were there though?
I don't know the exact number because they got to so many that they were like,
shitwad.
yeah,
I don't really think they're like to 7 though.
no, because
Oh dear God.
no.
Yeah, the first one, right? How many Star Trek movies are there? I don't think there's as many as you think there are. Man.
Oh, you're
yeah.
sorry. No, I think there's. I mean, counting Next Generation
Hey, I'm
cast.
counting that. I'm
I
counting
mean,
Oh, my
there's
God.
there's probably at least 12, 13, maybe.
Yeah.
If
No
not
way.
more.
No
Hold
way.
on.
You're crazy.
Wikipedia Star Trek film franchise. Okay. Original series cast, Next Generation cast, blah, blah, blah. Okay. We've got the motion picture, The Wrath of Khan, The Search for Spock, The Voyage Home, The Final Frontier, The Undiscovered Country, then Generations, First Contact, Insurrection, Nemesis, now the new series, Star Trek, and then Into Darkness. So there's 12 Star Trek movies.
Wow. Wow, there's 12. That's amazing. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. So there's a lot of Star Trek movies, but how many good Star Trek movies? What's the best Star Trek movie? I mean, to me, there's no question what the best Star Trek movie. What's the best one in your opinion?
Wrath of Khan.
He's right, ladies and gentlemen. That is without question the best Star Trek movie.
Now,
That's one of those where what's the best has a right answer. There is a right answer, and the rest are wrong.
That's true, by the way, the Wrath of Khan. Now, I will say this, though. The first one of the new series that they did,
The reboot, the newest one.
the redo.
Yeah,
I liked that one, but it wasn't Star Trek, though.
yeah. See,
But they've remade it, though, without actually hurting. Like, I don't think that they've actually hurt the franchise by doing it. I think that they're going to be good movies that are going to do very well. And I thought I thought that the premise of it was very interesting and was actually, in the Star Trek world, believable.
Yeah. Did you see the second one, Into Darkness?
No, I haven't seen the second one yet.
Oh,
I
you
saw
gotta
the first
see that one
though.
then. You gotta see that one.
Was that one bad or good?
I didn't get to see the whole thing, but I saw enough of it to know who the characters are, and you'll want to see that one.
Well, you got to remember, the premise of it now is that Vulcan is gone, and you've remade
Oh, it's
history.
an alternate reality.
Yeah, it's an alternate, which is actually kind of a cool premise in the Star Trek world.
Yeah, well, yeah, because it happens all the time in Star Trek world.
And there's no way to get around it now.
Yeah.
Like, you got to run this timeline, which, as a writer, gave them a lot of outs.
They've talked about doing alternate timelines before, though. Back when they were discussing series ideas, that was one of the things that often came up.
Well, they've done some shows where you had alternate timelines in it,
Right?
That ended up converging. So the technology or the way to get to there was part of it.
Right. They used it a lot in the series they had.
They
That's
just
why
they never went with it like this though, like starting over,
right.
which is cool.
How does that sound again? One more time. Thank you.
No problem, man. It's a good noise.
So
You know what's going on with that noise.
absolutely. So what's better, Star Trek or Star Wars?
If I really, again, I like them both, so I can't.
Right.
I'm not saying I like one more than the other. Well, but I'm gonna
No.
have to see. I'm gonna have to here. If I had to pick one, though, honestly, I'd go with Star Trek.
Yeah. I'm Star Wars man myself. I like both. I like both of them.
I like both. I've nothing. I like Star Wars. I mean, I really do. I think the storyline. I think that the entire storyline of Star Wars is actually a really good storyline. I totally know why they started where they started. It made sense. It just sucks that they screwed the beginning of it up so bad that it was hard to recover from that. Like, you needed to not go where you went with a lot of it, even though technology-wise I understood why, but man, you screwed it up. With some of the characters, you really screwed up.
Well, there's a lot of reasons for that. I think my number one, the thing that I like about Star Wars most over Star Trek when comparing the two is it's a more realistic universe. It's a more realistic socio-economic political situation. You know, the Star Trek is the Roddenberry utopia, this technological utopia where nobody wants for anything, and you know, it's kind of this communist federation.
It's what happens after Zeitgeist.
Yeah, it's this zeitgeist.
That's what happened. No,
Yeah.
that's what I actually think that's what Star Trek is.
Yeah,
That's the artistic end result of Zeitgeist.
yeah. But it's
Weird to say that, by the way.
To me, it's really unrealistic. It doesn't work with human nature as far as I'm concerned. I think Star Wars is more realistic. You have people who, you know, you have this division. In Star Trek, you've got all these different races, and it's like the Federation, where everybody gets along, and then the Romulans and the Klingons. And eventually the Klingons join the Federation as well. And it's like everybody gets along and everything's happy. And, you know, it's in Star Wars, there's the deception, the deceit, all these deeper political workings, you know, planets where the Empire doesn't reach. So the Hutts rule it, you know, the local, you know, the gangsters live here. And it's
Brothers and sisters are kissing.
yeah, you know, in these backwoods planets where there's no government to tell brothers and sisters not to kiss. Yeah.
I mean, I can understand what you're talking about, and I see what you're saying with the socioeconomic conditions of the two. I think that, I mean, you're using they got the Force in Star Wars, though. I mean, if we're going with realistic, I mean,
But they've
people
got-
using the Force. I mean, I don't know how you put that in the realistic category, though.
I would like to say that I like the unmutilated Star Wars.
Yes.
Well, but even then they were using the Force, though.
I know. I'm just throwing that out there real quick. Just there you go.
There's a fantasy element to Star Wars. There's a fantasy element to Star Trek.
Well,
Star
both of
Trek
them.
almost takes itself too seriously in what is fantasy.
Oh, in that I would.
You know what I'm
completely agree.
saying?
No. Would completely agree right there. It's
Yeah.
much more of a, and this isn't to denigrate the other one, so please don't take it this way. But one is more based on an interpretation that's more based in science, and the other one is more based in faith.
Think of it this way: it's like Lord of the Rings. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not realistic because trees really walk and they're really trolls and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, you watch it and it's realistic relationship, realistic sort of events. You know,
Yeah.
you can understand that this makes sense the way things go down
It's
like this.
relatable.
Yeah.
You know, it's relatable. You know, to me, Star Trek, the governance, and just the way everything's set up, it's kind of hokey and out there to me. Whereas, you know, with Star Wars, you've got this empire and you've got a rebellion and you've got trade federations and a senate and, you know, all this backstabbing and gangsters and, you know, smugglers and just all these different inner workings and all different kinds of people and different interactions. And it just seems it's more palatable to go, yeah, this is a believable universe.
I got you. No, I understand what you're saying. I'm hearing you on this one. It is funny to watch those, though.
Yeah.
It's funny of the, like, if you look at Star Trek, that it literally is somebody's interpretation of how we as a species get somewhere.
Right.
They're going to see us get to this point. And I had a question for you. It popped in my head as I was thinking about this, though. Do you think that the worldwide acceptance and public presence of aliens will change anything?
Absolutely.
When it comes to people's interaction with government, do you think it'll change?
Yes, but not for the better.
You were just whistling Dixie on that one. Do you think? Well, it raises like a whole different set of questions, by the way, because like how do you govern space? You know, like when people are coming to the planet, do you literally just let anybody come down no matter what, and there's no flight plans or anything like that? Like there has to be a controlled way in which to, you know, get onto the planet. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, first of all, people own the moon. You can like buy an acre of the moon.
Yeah, but nobody owns the moon though.
Yeah. I mean, technically, no one owns the moon. There's like treaties to that effect.
No, but you can buy it.
Right. Well, it's kind of like adopting a highway, really.
Yeah, yeah. It's like we're naming a star after you. It's in the star registry.
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't mean nothing. There's more of those than there's sands in an hourglass. You know what I'm saying? Same thing goes with the moon. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand what you're saying, but it's like a hoax. Not a hoax, but it's like nobody can sell it to you.
It's a bit of a scam. It's like selling you the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, okay. I can buy a piece of the moon. So I can send somebody money, and they'll send me a certificate that says I own a piece of the moon.
Or I could make one up on.
I could print one
Here's
of
the
those
thing. I could make one myself, print it out myself, and say I do own a piece of the moon. Here's my property. Make it look like a very official document. And it's worth just as much.
Yeah. It
selling
probably
rights,
cost me less
I'm
to go
selling
buy the
rights to the
materials
moon
to make
because I
it my
said
own
so.
certificate.
That's when you pull out a Ron Swanson.
Yeah.
I can do what I want. Oh, I have a note for that. I really think we ought to have notes for that to say, oh, I can do what I want. Ron Swanson's my hero. I don't care. I've just been turned on recently to Parks and Rec. And Ron Swanson is without a doubt the funniest guy. I don't know if they made that character to make fun of it or not. But I got to tell you, he's spot on most of the time. I love that guy. He's funny as crap.
Yep. It's awesome. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Parks and Recreation is the show. Ron Swanson is a libertarian. What's the office that he holds? I've only seen it like a handful
He's
of
in
times.
Parks and Recreation. He's the Parks and Rec director or something.
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, I know he's in Parks and Recreation.
Of a local government, by the way. Oops.
Yeah. But it's
Funniest show, though. It's NBC, so it does kind of suck a little bit.
He's a libertarian, and it is hilarious. Oh,
He's like, you know, like they bring this little kid in, right? And this little kid comes in, and she's like, she's supposed to do a book report. And so Ron says she's supposed to do a book report on government. And the question you're supposed to ask yourself is, you know, what's so important about government? And so Ron sits her down and says, well, here's what government is. Throws out her lunch. This is your lunch. You should be able to eat whatever you want out of your lunch. I'm the government. Takes half of her sandwich, eats it. That's the part where the government's going to take from you. You think that's fair? No, you know. And basically talks her all day about the evils of government, right? So she was supposed to do a book report. And she turned in her book report, and then because of that, then the mother came down to see Ron, and she goes, "Did you talk to my daughter?" And he was like, "Oh yes, it was a great conversation." And she's like, she hands him the report, and the report says why government matters, and she wrote one sentence: "It doesn't." And he was all proud of himself, like, "Oh yeah, that's great." Now, also when she was leaving, he handed her a Claymore mine, which was kind of stupid. Like, I don't understand why you would do something like that. Like, that's where NBC tries to screw up the libertarian. No libertarian in the right mind is going to hand a little kid a Claymore mine.
Right.
Just ain't going to happen. At least not in the government building. But what happens is that so now they have to bring the daughter back in to talk to Ron because Ron has to fix this. So he has to tell her that government really does matter and you should do this and this and this. So Ron brings her back in and says, "Look, you have to play the game until you get 18, and then you can do whatever you want to. So until then, make sure you do what your teachers tell you and yada 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 whatever." And he goes, "And can you sign this for me? I'm gonna put this on the wall." So he ends up like saying like, when you turn 18, you can do what you want. Until then, you got to play by their rules or something like that.
But I want your signature on this book report.
I want you to sign because it was a keepsake for him.
Absolutely.
But that's the kind of character he is, and he's hilarious. Like,
It's awesome.
He's a great character actor. Anyway, I don't remember the guy's real name, but he's a great character actor, and he does this role perfectly.
Yeah. I remember one episode somebody like stuck their head in his office and they're like, "Sorry, Ron, am I interrupting anything important?" Because impossible. I work for the government. It's just awesome. It's
Like he
awesome.
hates the government and tries to mess it up as much as humanly possible.
Very nice.
Yes.
I think I'll have to check that out.
Now, the rest of the people in the office, though, have much more of a caring for the government, and he's alone in many of the instances that are going on, but
Yes.
still well respected because he's really in charge at the end of the day.
I'm busy watching Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Not a bad show.
I just looked at the clock. We're 10 minutes over.
Oh, are we? Well, we better go.
I mean, we're having a good conversation, but I was having fun anyway.
No, I was having fun. That's funny, man.
I was having a good time.
I always enjoy talking about Star Wars.
And Ron Swanson.
Yeah.
What if Ron Swanson was in Star Wars? What would happen?
He would probably dissolve the Galactic Senate, but not set up an empire.
Yoda, your tricks don't work on me. You know, one guy I always wanted to impersonate, though, that I was never able to really impersonate was Barack Obama.
Oh, yeah?
Like, I have no Barack Obama impression, you know? Like that's all I got.
Yeah.
And that ain't even him at all.
No.
Like, because he doesn't even talk like black, though, you know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't talk like a black guy, you know what I mean? He does talk more, tries to talk more elitist, like, you know, the other elitists. It's not black or white. He's more of he doesn't have what is the word for it?
I'm sorry. I'm just sitting here.
I'm just
feeding
giving
rope.
you room.
I'm just letting you have room.
Hold on a second. This ain't even a racist thing. This ain't even a racist thing at all. Look, different groups of people have different
You should have
styles
taken
in
the
which way
segue
they
to end the show.
Well, at any rate, I could never do a Barack Obama impersonation, though. And I feel bad about it. Like, I can do Bush, you know what I mean? I used to be able to do Reagan. Can't do Barack, though. Never could do Jimmy Carter either, if that makes sense.
Let's hear your Bush.
Which
Hold on, it's been a while since I did it. You know, nuclear.
Can you do both?
Let me go nuclear. You either with this or you with the terrorists. Now, see, I've almost lost that one, though.
that sort of turned in.
You know, I did the old Bush better, though.
Had a little
At this
little
junction.
tiny Timish.
Yeah. 1,000 points of light. We will not stop.
Little Rob the Robot there.
Ross Perot used to be able to do.
Oh, yeah?
Can I finish, Larry? Can I finish? Larry, can I just finish what I'm telling you right now, Larry? Larry, look, over down there in Texas, we'll be able to do this thing. Big, giant sucking sound. You know, Larry? That's the only thing I can do for that one. Even though Perot was the best, though.
Yeah.
Boy, what a different country he'd be if Perot would have got elected. God damn it. Really talk about a turning point. Honestly, that really should be looked back at like one of the... Damn, we really made a bad move there. Not even that it was Clinton, but that it wasn't Perot.
Can you do Clinton?
You know what? I used to be able to. I can't really do it anymore. Like, I have to think about it. Like, I can't do it at 12:43 when I'm just thinking about it now.
I did not have sexual relations
That
with
woman?
that woman. I can't do it.
Another guy you'd want to party with, though.
Yes, I would totally party with Bill Clinton.
Yeah. I wouldn't
But
mind.
I would not vote for him.
I wouldn't mind. Here's the thing. If there's one, I don't really want to see any politician, but if there's one I wouldn't mind meeting right now, I would like to meet Bill Clinton. You'd never be able to do it because Secret Service and all that other stuff, they'd never let you. You'd never get anywhere near Bill Clinton. But he would be fun to. I'd like to meet with him.
I'd
think
meet with Al Franken. I like Al Franken.
I would not meet with Al Franken.
I mean, he's funny. He makes me laugh. I've read some of his books. I mean, I don't agree with him politically on everything, but I don't think he's a bad guy.
I actually think he's an asshole. From everything I've seen, I've heard he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, he's kind of like an elitist.
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
Like, when we were down at the RNC and we were walking around, you would see some people that were somewhat famous people, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. Like, we saw Lawrence O'Donnell. We were walking one side, Lawrence O'Donnell's walking the other side, and we have, like, Ron Paul signs with us and stuff like that. And we were like, hey. And he just, like, but we weren't like, hey. We're like, hey. Nothing. Like, just a sound. Like, what a dick. See, nobody else is on. Here's the thing. Nobody else is walking there. It's just the three of us.
Yeah.
Nobody else is there. If somebody's being nice to you, like, I look, I happen to know who he was, and I happen to not like the guy. What I could have said was, you're a commie son of a bitch and I hate you. But instead of saying that, I go, hey, you know, acknowledge that you're existing.
All he had to do was nod.
All I had to do was just a nice
nod.
little, yeah, just don't
Not
be a
even
dick.
speak. Just nod.
Just don't be a dick.
Yep.
At the end of the day, don't be a dick. If there's one lesson in life you should learn, it's don't be a dick.
Yes. That's the one law we need.
Just don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick.
All right. Well, yeah. We'll have to call this thing 12:45. I don't like anybody's listening anyway, so I can't blame him. They
It's a
should
lot
be
of fun,
listening,
though.
They should be listening though, because they needed to hear it. So
I'm the only listener. And I'm here.
yeah, and you're here. Really
The
sucks, by
live
way.
studio audience.
Miss
And
Danielle tonight, so she would have been able to keep the show straighter. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. It was fun.
God bless America, though.
Yeah.
God bless America.
It's a
Story about a
masturbatory
boy.
show.
All right, we'll see you later. Off the rails.